they get interest rates lower, are you happy with them currently?
I think he should have brought them down quicker, faster than he did. I mean, he's a little late to the game, but
How do you think Trump is doing so far? I ask a lot of guests this when I say letter grades, like A, B, C, D, and F we used to get in school. What letter grade would you give him now that he's almost a quarter through his second term? What letter grade would you give him now?
I mean, I got to give him an A, man. All the things I voted for, he's worked on. The border is practically completely shut down. He's going aggressively after narco terrorists, people who import drugs into our country, kill our people. I mean, the economy's improving. I can't complain, man.
Bro, okay. I think the border is one that, even though I'm left of center, I kind of agree with you on that. The narco terrorist thing, I'm up in the air on that because do you think that that's really having a serious effect on the ability to sell and use drugs in America? Because he's saying he's blowing up these boats that contain fentanyl and things like that. Do you believe that's actually affecting the supply in this country for folks who use this stuff illegally?
No, I don't think so. Here's what I know. Wherever there's a demand, someone will supply it, regardless of what it takes and what alternative options they have to go with. I mean, I don't think we'll ever stop drug use in this country. However, it's definitely a deterrent for people who would come over here and try to do harm to Americans. It sends a strong, clear message to anyone that would intend to do that. I think that should have been our policy for decades now, and it just hasn't been. We haven't been that aggressive. I think Joe Biden, as a senator, and I know Chuck Schumer definitely did, they proposed blowing up these boats. And now it's funny because Donald Trump's doing it and they have a problem with it. So
but I could also counter that and say when Biden was heavy on addressing crime, a lot of folks on the right used that against him, suggesting that he was locking up black men and why blacks should not vote for him. Now that Trump is doing it, they're bringing up that, well, when he was doing it, it's like what you're saying. Well, he did it, and now you guys are opposing us for doing it. Well, when he was doing it and then running for a second term, you guys were using that against him. The Biden crime bill, remember that?
Yeah, I think so, but you got to take it into the context or the intent behind it. I mean, we heard out of Joe Biden's mouth on the Senate floor what his intent, and it was pretty clear at that time. I mean, the guy was a racist. Nobody can convince me otherwise. Did he change his heart or his mind with age? Maybe so. But I mean, there's multiple examples going back to all his time in the Senate of, his true colors, or at least who he used to be.
So why do you think that, let me ask you this, because I'm going to get your opinion. You can take it you can go anywhere with this you want. We know we don't censor, but why do you think that if you had to, because I don't know, but I want to ask you for you, why do you believe that most minorities, if asked which is more racist between Biden and Trump, would pick Trump?
I don't know, man. I think there's an argument to be made that there's been just so much coverage in the media that is opinion based for so many years. It's like if you tell people on all major news outlets the same message over and over again, and that's where they trust their information coming from, despite all the lawsuits Trump's won for defamation against ABC, NBC, CNN. I mean, like the list goes on. He's won millions and millions of dollars.
Well, but let's be clear. He won those lawsuits as president. He wasn't winning lawsuits like that as a citizen. I mean, as president, you do have a certain amount of control of our justice system. It's a lot easier to win something as president because the defendant, their hands are kind of tied. Because listen, I'm assuming you realize that Trump has said negative things about people too, right?
That's one of the most repulsive things that I just can't. I've had to just plug my nose. The way that Trump talks about people. I mean, Rob Reiner was, in my mind, as a human being. The shit that he said, like when Trump got shot, he said, he tweeted out, missed the target. When
Rob Reiner said that.
Yeah, there's several repulsive things that Rob Reiner said, and so but I still don't agree. Two wrongs don't.
I haven't heard that. I have not. I heard Rob Reiner wished him well. I would love to see that tweet. I have not heard. The reason why I asked you about Trump saying bad things about people, though, because I was talking about when I'll let you continue. But the reason I said that is because when you talked about Trump scoring lawsuits on people for defamation of character, the point I was trying to make when I asked you about him saying bad things about other people is he's in a position right now where he can sue you for defaming him, but you cannot sue him for defaming you. And we know everything from Haitians eating cats and dogs. I mean, he said defamatory things that are not true about a large group of people. I mean, obviously Somalis are garbage. I mean, there are plenty of Somalis that have become doctors and things like that. So you can't sue him for defamation, but he's actively suing others. How do you view that?
Again, like I was trying to say, is I don't think two wrongs make a right in that situation. And as far as the Somalians are concerned, I think his comments was more geared towards the country, not individual Somalians. But there's no denying there's, irrefutable evidence of what's going on out there in Minnesota. I mean, you've got whistleblowers within Walz's administration who are coming forward reporting on all the fraud.
But what percentage of Somalis that are in Minnesota are part of that fraud? I mean, are we using that to say, because he said we got to stop taking in garbage. Who is he talking about? He makes it sound like the entire Somali population that we're taking in is garbage. In other words, don't send us any more Somalis. You're sending us pieces of garbage. That's the way I took it. How did you take it?
Well, I take it as you got to take it for what he says, man. I mean, that's apparently, I mean, that's how he genuinely feels. I don't know, but my concerns and where I find agreement with him is the fact that we allowed people to come in under Obama and Biden, unvetted practically into our country, and we've saw the results of that. Their ideology, you can't change. I mean, you could take a person out of an environment, but you can't take the environment out of that person. And so when we're importing all these people here with these ideologies that are not compatible with Western civilization, and we put them in major populated metropolitan cities, and then they infiltrate our government and are elected to represent us on certain scales they're not allowed to at the federal level, but at the state level they're able to. And then we see all of this madness going on where they have control of levers of power in those cities. And I don't disagree with Trump on that. And so
here's where I see things that are kind of confusing based on what you're saying. You said when you take in populations of folks that are unvetted, like under Biden and Obama, you see the results, meaning that maybe they commit crimes or fraud or whatever the case may be. But
they're a burden on the American taxpayer, first and foremost, just coming over here in general. Their start that they get isn't traditional immigrant start in this country where you come and you work and you pay your way and you ultimately achieve the American dream. They're coming.
I don't believe that's the case, though. I don't believe that America has a history of taking in immigrants that are ready to hit the ground running. I think all of them, whether we're talking Jewish immigrants, Irish immigrants, I think all of them get a little bit of help from the U.S. government when they come in. I don't think any group, because listen, if they're already ready to hit the ground running, they probably don't need to come here. If they got money where they're at, they probably ain't trying to leave. I think when people come here, they usually are hurting for cash. Same thing with any first world country. When they go to the UK, when they go to Australia, they probably aren't doing that well. So if we actually say that we only want immigrants to come to America that are ready to come and hit the ground running, you probably would dry up any immigration coming here altogether, because people that live in first world countries that have money, they ain't trying to leave. That's why Trump keeps complaining about why is there nobody from Sweden or Norway coming here? They don't want to send their kid to school and get shot. They're fine where they're at. So that's the issue. What I was about to say, though, is I think that we're judging them on a scale that's much higher, meaning that if you bring over a group of Afghanis and only one or two of them do something wrong, we're quick to deface the entire group. Like you hear Trump went after the Afghan population after that guy drove from Washington to D.C. and shot those two National Guard. Fact is, most of them folks have no criminal history at all in America. It's not like there's a bunch of Afghanis with criminal records since they got here. Same thing with the Somalis. I don't believe that's the majority of that population that's involved in fraud. Do you believe that most of them are committing fraud in Minnesota?
I honestly don't know. All I know is what's out there currently, and it seems to be, focused in that population.
Didn't you just start out our conversation by talking about propaganda and believing fake media? I mean, now you're saying it's just kind of out there. Sound like you're kind of being victimized. What you're talking about.
Well, it's not coming from the media that I'm hearing it from. It's coming from whistleblower reports. These are people within his administration that's come forth and given testimony or given statements that say firsthand knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not Whoopi Goldberg on the View giving her blasphemous opinions on everything under the sun. You know,
Blasphemous. It's Christmas. Come on now. Blasphemous. No, the point I'm making is, even if they are committing fraud in Minnesota under Tim Walz, if it's still a small portion of the population, why are we damning all Somalis?
Tim, I can't answer that, buddy. I mean, I don't know. All I know is that what I'm seeing large scale, and I travel just for the nature of what I do for a career. I'm all over the country, and I get to see it firsthand. And when I was younger, I traveled over the country in the 80s and 90s, and what I'm seeing now in those places that I didn't see then is saddening, honestly, as an American citizen.
What are you seeing? Because I got people in the comments that are saying, I'm in Minnesota. Where's that happening? What are you seeing in Minnesota that's so saddening? I mean, some of the population is committing acts of fraud. I mean, that's not new in America.
It's the ideology that's plaguing our traditional values here in this country that I take an issue with.
Explain. What do you mean by that? Explain. What values are you talking about?
Well, you have Muslims who that is the number one growing religion who are outbreeding American citizens at an alarming rate, and their ideology is taking center stage in every major city across America right now, and their ideology is not compatible with our founding principles.
Muslim ideology is taking center stage in every major American city. What is there? What ideology are you discussing? Okay, let's say, for instance, I'm living in Dallas. What am I expecting to see? That's a major American city. What am I seeing? What are you talking about?
Yeah, not every major American city, many major American cities across America. And anyone that doesn't believe that and travels or does travel and says that I'm wrong, they're lying to you. I mean,
you do believe in freedom of religion, don't you?
Yeah, I believe in freedom of religion. I absolutely do. But the issue is that we are being slowly but surely, and I mean we, me, you, natural born American citizens, the things that we hold to be true in this country that built the foundation that we live on is being decimated.
Give me some examples. What part of our foundation created by the founding fathers are Muslims decimating?
Well, because we're a Christian nation, regardless of the fact.
That's not, well, if you say we're a Christian nation, then you're kind of excluding freedom of religion. When you say freedom of religion, what do you mean?
You're free to practice your religion.
What if I got 100 friends that want to practice the same religion? Can we all practice it?
Well, the freedom of religion is one thing, but having it implemented into our government and how that government functions and was intended to function is a completely different subject entirely. What you do in your private life,
give me some examples. How is religion being implemented into our government? I'm assuming you're talking about the Muslim religion, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look, you got Mamdani that just won New York. You've got the crazy shit that we've listened to Ilhan Omar say about this country. And she's representing us at the federal level, or she's representing Minnesota at the federal level. Well, and that's a prime example of how they infiltrate their ideology into our government.
I don't see how they're implementing Muslim ideology. Now, you point out a politician like Mamdani or Ilhan Omar being in a position of power saying awful shit about the country. If Trump says Chicago is a shithole city, is that not saying something awful about the country?
It's one thing to say how a city's being ran. It's another thing to completely shit on the very fabric of the very foundation. The idea that the Constitution should change or any of that's a completely different subject. I can look at and say, or like if her complaint about the country was Trump has destroyed Washington, D.C., well, I wouldn't give a shit about that. That's an opinion. But when you're shitting on the very principles this country.
What principles is Mamdani or Ilhan Omar? What principles that we've come to know and love are they shitting on? Give me an example.
Well, listen how they talk about American citizens, and not Mamdani so much, but Ilhan Omar.
I don't see, but if I live in Chicago and you say my city is a shithole, to me you're talking about the citizens in my city. So I don't see. I'm trying to figure out how you're separating Trump making similar statements from these people. What are they saying about the citizens that is worse than what Trump is saying?
He's just simply saying Chicago's a war zone and it needs to be dealt with. There's nothing wrong with pointing that out. I mean, it's clear to everybody. There's a mass shooting practically every single day in that city.
Now, he said a shithole, though. That's different than a war zone.
It is a shithole.
Okay, so what is Ilhan Omar or Mamdani saying that's worse than that? Because look, if you're saying that I'm a shithole, I live in a shithole city. I'm assuming you're talking about all of us that's living in the city. What are they saying that's worse than that?
He's not at all talked about people of the city of Chicago as a whole. I mean, that's
if they were not in the city and it was just an empty geographical area, would it still be a shithole?
No, it's a shithole because of the way that it's ran by its government.
It's a shithole because of the people that's in it. That's what you're talking about, the people. You're talking about the government, but you're saying the government should run the city in a different way so that the people aren't allowed to act like shitholes.
Absolutely, they should.
Right. So you're talking about the people in the city. So give me Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, but that's not the whole city. If you're Tim, you're a good guy. If you lived in Chicago, that wouldn't apply to you. You're not.
How do I know? He said the whole city. He's not pointing out certain people. How do I know?
I mean, come on, man. Some things.
So some Somalis should know he's not talking about them when he says garbage.
The country of the Somali.
Everybody coming from when he says we should stop taking in garbage. Who is he talking about?
By definition, in comparison to a first world country, it's a shithole. It absolutely is. Why do you think people flee there to come here? It is a shithole. What's wrong with calling things what they are?
Well,
making it feel like he's attacking a race or something like that. Like, I don't understand why people automatically go to that path. You can look at a country, see how it's ran, see what its crime's like, see what its morals and principles and standards are to live in that place, and you can call it what it is. I don't know how we got away from that as a society.
Well, first of all, when you start insulting people, they're not going to like it. Just like you're saying you don't like what Ilhan Omar and what Mamdani are saying. I think it's more of a 6.5 dozen of the other or glass half full. I think you just agree with Trump's insults a little bit more than you would agree with Mamdani's. But I want to give me some of the statements from Mamdani or Ilhan. I want to hear what they've said. That's really
it's their ideology and the things that they want to implement in government, and it's the fact that our education system is so far lacking that they've convinced young people that their ideas are good, despite the fact that they've worked absolutely nowhere ever in the history of mankind has their ideas ever worked when they're rolled out. When you consolidate power at the government level with these ideas that they bring to the table, and because our education system's so fucked and it doesn't focus on the things that would create healthy-minded human beings when they become young adults, we've got an entire generation, 2 generations at this point, who are so numb and dumb to the fact that they're getting behind this, and it has catastrophic ending written all over it. And that is not the country I want to leave for my kids and grandkids. And so for that reason, I am firmly against the Ilhan Omars and the Mamdanis and the ideology and ideas they bring to the table.
I think now I get what Mamdani is probably going to be him saying he's a socialist, but I also think you obviously have a problem with them both being Muslim. But I'll just tell you it is. Because both Ilhan and Mamdani, I'm Gen X, so I'm older than both of them. They're not that old as politicians. They're on the lower end of the age bracket when you compare them to the likes of Biden, Mitch McConnell, and Trump. I think the issue I'm trying to get to you at is this. If capitalism was not failing young Americans so much, you wouldn't have so much of an open mind coming from the youth towards socialism, communism, or any of these other isms. It's not that these other areas are that great. It's that capitalism is doing people that badly. They're not progressing to any significant degree under capitalism. So they're like, well, if this is capitalism, I'm willing to try some of that other shit. The other stuff could be like you're saying, it could be wrong, it could be bad, it could have a bad outcome. But as long as people are being held back under capitalism, they're going to be open to try other stuff. Like, for instance, in this country, keeping minimum wage the same for 20 straight years, that's capitalism. That stuff like that is capitalism. You see what's happening with the healthcare system. That ain't happening due to socialism. You guys want to make healthcare.
It actually is happening because of socialism. It's happening because of the Affordable Care Act. It's happening because taxpayer dollars are going to subsidize insurance companies because the Affordable Care Act didn't do anything that it was promised to do. If you want to keep your doctor, you get to keep your doctor. If you want to keep your policy, you get to keep your policy. None of those things happen.
So you're saying that in this country, before the Affordable Care Act came about, when Obama got elected in 2008,
yeah,
you're saying before that came about, healthcare in this country was great.
No, it wasn't great, but it was certainly better than what it is now under subsidizing insurance companies. I watch my premiums go up. I watch my co-pays go up to the point that, and I make six figures. I don't even have insurance now because it's unaffordable.
You know what I find interesting. And listen, if it went up for you, I'm not taking away from what you're saying. You know your own situation better than anyone. But I will tell you this: generally, when you hear people complaining about Obamacare and how bad it is, six figures. It wasn't meant for people like you, of course, because you're the people that they're depending on to help out the poor. It's not meant to help you out.
But here's the problem. I wasn't always at six figures. I had to work my ass off to get to this point.
What was your health care like before Obamacare? I mean, what was your economic situation? Did you have health care through your job? Were you uninsured?
Yes, I had health care through my job. But what happens is when Obamacare came online, it throws everybody into the pool. It made exception for pre-existing conditions. And so when they weigh that risk, right, and what that cost is ultimately going to be to the insurance provider, now everybody pays more. And that's bullshit.
What is your opinion of how we should treat healthcare for poor people that don't have it, or they work, let's say an Uber driver that does 60 hours a week driving, but Uber doesn't give them healthcare. DoorDash drivers, all of these contract jobs, because capitalism is changing a lot of jobs that used to be W-2 into 1099 jobs. 1099 jobs generally do not provide healthcare. There's a whole lot of, what do you say we do for those people that either working doesn't have insurance, working or underinsured so that their insurance don't cover shit, or God forbid you're homeless or something like that and have no insurance at all? What do you believe we should do for those people?
Well, that's what Medicaid and Medicare is. If you're below the threshold or whatever, and you're capable of getting that. But I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that the Affordable Care Act, 100%. I don't think there's a single person that was living then that had health insurance that is living now that had health insurance that says it's more affordable now than it was before the ACA came online. So, but what I'm saying is that's not my problem. It's not my problem. I shouldn't have to have my money go to fund other people because they're incapable of achieving what I've achieved. We haven't had capitalism since the Great Deal under FDR. We've had bits of socialism peek its way in, like welfare.
You think it would be if we get rid of all entitlement programs, those bits of socialism you're talking about? Do you think America would be better off if we got rid of all of that?
100%. Absolutely. 100%.
Do you think America was better off for the poor back then before it came about?
I think that everyone in this country has the same opportunity that I did. I didn't come from a sweet background. I didn't go to college. I got my GED. I've been to prison. I've lived on the wrong side of the tracks. I was the son of a 15-year-old mother. I've been homeless as a kid, and I was able to get here. So there's no excuse for anyone else. If you apply yourself, you can achieve whatever you want to in this country. That's why people want to come to this country, because here, if you're willing to work your ass off, bring something to market, a value that people want or need, you have the opportunity to change your life practically overnight. If you are somebody that wants to Uber and that's your career choice and that's all the gumption you have, then you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. That's capitalism.
All right. And that's why and you're right. That is capitalism. That the way you described it is certainly a great way to describe capitalism. But that goes back to my original statement. That is why so many young folks don't want nothing to do with it. I got to move it on, millennial. Great conversation. This isn't our first time talking, is it?
I talked to you back during the COVID days, but I had a different account back then. Now I got bananas, so
fair enough. Well, anytime you want to come back, we don't have to agree on shit. You're always welcome back. And Merry Christmas to you and yours. Hopefully we talk before New Year's, but come on back anytime, man.
Sir, Merry Christmas.
You too. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Get the lights on up to 30,000. We can certainly make that happen. Pizza Lover says, great guest. I didn't agree with most of what he said, but I certainly enjoyed him coming through and giving his side of the political spectrum. Did I get his Christmas wish list? I think we kind of got into it. He wanted he wanted more of Trump. He thought Trump. Oh, he gave Trump an A+. Oh, I wanted to ask some questions on it. He did give Trump a letter grade of an A+ so far. But thank you for coming through, Millennial. Looking in the comments. All right, we have finally a caller that knows what he's talking about. Says Gander in flight. We got to get more MAGA on there. There you go. There you go. Look, I don't agree with him, but he has his right to speak, and we'll always protect that and reserve it as long as we can. Then we should see CEOs not getting 50 million in bonuses. Employee wages would be raised. You're not under. That's a good point. Is that in a capitalist world, it's not only thoughtless for the downtrodden, because you heard him say, look, I was able to figure it out. You need to as well. I don't think I should help you out. And I think that is the biggest issue with Obamacare, is that the haves don't want to be held accountable for the have-nots. The haves want to leave the have-nots up to their own devices. Whatever I did to, whatever's going on with you in your life, I don't want to have to be responsible for helping you out at all. And that's why I keep pushing back. When one of my callers, Jeremy, frequently comes on the program, he's against Obamacare as well. And he talks about the charities, like if the people are saying this with Obamacare, you think they're going to be really giving money to charities? If they don't want it to come out of their tax money to take care of people who don't have insurance, big dog, yeah. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you. If they don't want to do it with Obamacare, they're not going to be flooding charities with donations. James Harper, good evening. Welcome to the program. In the 1970s, CEO paid, hang on a second, James. EPG says in the 1970s, CEO pays 70 times more than the average worker. Now it's 400 more times. And that's the problem with our current system in capitalism, is that the haves are able to flood the government via lobbyists with money and get the government to make laws so that the haves are able to have more and the have-nots get less. That is what exactly has been happening. That's why a lot of kids don't like capitalism. James, good evening. Merry Christmas.
What's going on?
Oh, we're in the trenches now. The first question we asked, with the likes of Nicki Minaj falling out of favor with a hell of a lot of her fans, they're saying she lost 10 million followers on Instagram and had to cancel her account because it was only growing. I'm asking the question, if you favor a celebrity, a sports star, television, everybody from Hulk Hogan on that, if you favor someone and they're openly endorsing your political adversary, somebody you despise, would that change your desire to keep watching them, supporting them, buying their music, etc.?
Yeah, that was changing, because I'm not gonna sit there and fund your life, because the way we naturally believe is completely different.
But let's say I'm Nicki Minaj, I rap for a living. You like my lyrics, you like the beats, you like what I'm putting out. What is me liking Trump, for instance? Because I'm assuming you lean left. Let's say I like Trump. What does that got to do with the fact that I make you vibe with my music?
See, and with what you just said and with her situation, those are like two different things.
Explain.
Like her biggest draw was the LGBTQ.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was the major thing, and she embraced that too. That like you showed when she was on RuPaul's Drag Race, when things were up and up, she was all for them. Now that things is bad, now she's running the MAGA.
I don't get why. Listen, if you favor Trump, you believe that Trump is the right direction for this country. You could still show up and vote for him. I don't know why she would go on the stage with Erica Kirk and do that. I mean, it's going to cost her millions of dollars.
Because she's looking for something else. Like she's trying to buy one of them pardons. Well, more like two of those pardons because there's two people in her life that she needs to get pardoned, and she also needs a green card because apparently she's not a citizen.
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay, all right. So I can see it now because I'm thinking with the money that she's going to lose. Now she's obviously incredibly wealthy, so it ain't like if she doesn't make a dime from this day forward, she's going to be struggling. But what she did is
she has a big lawsuit going on right now that she's about to lose millions.
What has she been sued for?
Harassment and intimidating somebody that was a victim against her husband.
I don't think that's going. I mean, that ain't going to hurt her to the point where. I mean, she's still going to be super wealthy going forward. Now, see, somebody said bodyguard. Is that who she harassed, her bodyguard? Now, look, even if she has to pay out $10 million, I mean, the woman's got to be worth triple-digit millions. But I'm thinking, because go ahead.
But Tim, you got to remember, like being worth something and actually having it are two different things.
Yeah, but if you got relatives that are serving time in prison, and this is the only way you can get them out is to drop your wealth significantly. And that pardon, I mean, that green card thing you're talking about. I mean, if she get deported, that would be fucked up. Where's she from? What country is she from over there? Trinidad? Where is she from?
I think it's either Trinidad or Barbados.
Yeah, but even if America deported her, though, there's a host of first world countries she could go to and live fine. I mean, I'm sure she could go buy a house next to Russell Simmons. He'd be cool to take her in. I mean, there's a lot of places she could go. I mean, hey, look, we all are born and raised here. Most of us are. I think there's a few of my guests that are not, but there are plenty of places you can go live that are equal or even better in quality to it than America. I could live the rest of my life and never be in America again and still be very fucking happy because I've seen many other places in the world. So two pardons. You're saying that there's two pardons she may be seeking.
Yeah, one's her husband who's on the offender list, and the other one is her brother who's a PDF.
Damn. You think Trump would ever favor a PDF? Really?
I mean, if the price is right, you see this man, like, this man just, he pardoned a kingpin and a guy who was actually accused of laundering money for extremist groups.
Oh, well, listen, I was kind of tossing you an underhanded softball because obviously what's going on with the Epstein stuff and things like that. It does seem to be apparent that abusing children is not a deal breaker for Trump. That does seem to be the way things are. I mean,
exactly. Like the person who talked about something. Oh, when I get in, I'm going to release the files. Why is he fighting so hard to stop it? And then why is his administration doing all this work? How much money has it cost just to redact these files so it doesn't make him look bad?
I don't know, but he's willing to spend it, whatever it is. I can tell you that. He definitely is willing to spend it. So I'm going to ask you the other question, which should be, I think I can kind of guess where we may go on this. What's on your Christmas wish list for 2026? What are you hoping for politically for the upcoming year? If you can get any damn thing you wanted politically, what might you go with?
That these other two branches of government will have some damn backbone and do their jobs and go with the damn checks and balances like they're supposed to.
That's incredibly reasonable. I mean, that's like literally saying I want to feed the homeless. That's a very reasonable wish. I mean, I got motherfuckers that want him to die. I mean, you just want the government to do their job. That is incredibly reasonable.
I mean, that's what I fought for. Like, why would I not want the government to actually do their jobs? Yeah. It's a reason why like this system was brought up. Like our people saw what it was like to have to be under a king. They didn't like that shit, so they tried to make it so we would never have a king again. And now we got this insecure snowflake that wants to undo all that.
Insecure snowflake. And Mr. Briggs on YouTube says no work, no food. It's that simple. Do you subscribe to that? You heard my last caller. You know, look, I figured it out. You need to figure it out as well. Do you favor that also, that if a person is not working, therefore they should not eat?
if a person's not working, I would want to see why they're not working. I'm not just going to say, "Oh, you're not working. You don't get enough." There's a difference between somebody who can't work and somebody who won't work.
What if you got a mom out there, a welfare mom, where you know she could work, but she's instead constantly getting pregnant and having kids?
Then in that case, like first thing you gotta do is see, is she able to take care of these kids? Because if she's constantly getting pregnant and these kids are all struggling, she's not a fit mom.
So what do you want to take her kids from her?
You would like if it meant those kids end up being better off. Yeah,
I have never seen the government take some people's kids. I guess maybe in terms of like crack babies and things like that, but it's putting kids in foster care. They generally are not in a better situation. I mean, you could have some pretty ghetto ass moms living in some pretty decrepit conditions, and I still think those kids are better off with that mom than being in foster care. Kids get raped and every damn thing in foster care. That is when the government takes your kids, it's usually a bad situation for your kids going forward. They don't normally make it better.
but from the situation you just said, like because you got to remember, Tim, like the food stamps and all that, they don't give that much to actually like thrive on. Like
you ain't gonna be thriving in foster care.
Both situations are a bad situation. I'll give you that, but
but let me say it like this. I would rather be starving with my mama than going from family to family, even having a good meal at night. But the families I'm going, a lot of these families are taking in foster care just because they get government subsidies. I might only be here 3 weeks. Maybe I'm in a house where the other brothers and sisters don't like mass. I don't see, even though I'm eating, I'm not starving to death anymore. I'm eating food. But everywhere I go, I'm either unwanted or viewed like the black sheep of the family or a redheaded stepchild. To me, that's worse than having to live off ramen noodles.
I mean, Tim, I get what you're saying, but either way, it's not going to end up good for that child.
True, that is true. So, but you're not in the position of saying that don't work, don't eat. You're not quite there on that.
No, I would say there's certain things that we should have had done a long time ago, like universal health care. All those people that talk about these moms don't work. If you have it so that they have the ability to go work, because what's one of the first things they say? I don't have nobody to watch my kids. Okay, or I can't afford daycare. You have daycare now. Now what's your excuse to go out there and work? If you can take away the excuses, then you can come out and say, all right, you don't want to work, you don't want to get these benefits.
That's a great point. I agree with that 100%. Is that the same folks that suggest if you don't work, you don't eat, are not in favor of doing anything to help the person when they does. Okay, so you said you want me to work because you weren't going to help me if I didn't work. But now that I'm working and I want a minimum wage increase, you're not on my side. You don't want me to unionize. You don't want to give me health care. You don't even want to do shit for me when I am working. So that's where I look. If you're going to be in favor of demanding people work, how about then look out for working people?
Because most of these people, they think that them themselves are going to be at that position of like CEOs and things like that, and they thinking like, oh, if I get up to there, y'all going to take more of my money because that's what these people are saying you're doing to them.
So they are proactively looking out for the wealthier because they hope one day that they may be in that class as opposed to the poor, which they're only one step above. You're nowhere near the wealthy CEO. You're pretty fucking close if something happened to you to the poor guy that you're putting down.
You see how they celebrate these tax cuts and everything. They thinking like, oh yeah, these tax cuts are benefiting me, but it's like you're getting pennies on a dollar compared to these other people who are really getting these benefits, and the benefits you getting aren't even permanent. They're temporary.
Well, you heard my last caller. He gave Trump an A, said the economy's getting better and things like that. He gave him an A, said he's done everything he's voted for. That is
your last caller was delusional as hell.
Why do you say he was delusional?
First off, he's like, oh, I give Trump an A+ when inflation's up, unemployment's up, the GDP is not where it needs to be. Like, how many people, like, all the chaos that Trump has caused since he's got in office, how the hell is that an A+?
Well, when you say chaos, you got to explain it. What kind of chaos is? Because some folks believe, look, the economy's gotten better, the border's gotten better. We're stopping drug narco
The
traffic.
economy has definitely not gotten better. Narco terrorism is still the same as it was, and he didn't make it better or worse because he didn't actually do any effective change. You can't even quantify like the stuff that he's done.
Well,
And
do you have any problem with him taking out drug books? Though, if they are bringing harmful substances to America, do you have any problem with him stopping that?
he could have stopped them by intercepting the boats.
Maybe it would have cost more tax money, and it's cheaper to just kill them.
And MAGA Reacts, you're looking at quarterly instead of yearly, because quarterly, like that GDP is actually affected by whether or not bills are paid on the first, if it's not on the weekend, or if it's paid on a weekday.
Now, I want to ask you something, James Harvey. This is kind of off the topic, but I got News Nation. I always have a news station playing on behind me when I'm doing these lives. Apparently, this is a developing story that's on the ticker below News Nation right now. They're saying the Department of Justice are saying that it may take weeks to release all the Epstein files. What the hell is going on with that, in your opinion? I mean, they had a month to release them by the end of Friday of last week.
It's the Trump tactic, stalling. That's what that is. Everything is a stall game. When all those people that put in lawsuits against Trump, he stalled them in court so that they couldn't afford to keep the lawsuit going. So they end up having to take a small settlement. Like, it's a stall tactic.
Why is it MAGA favors just like they favor, protecting America from drugs entering this country? MAGA does also favor protecting the innocence of young children and underage girls. Why aren't they saying anything about this?
Because it's their side, the one that's in charge of all this. Like when it wasn't their side, they was like, why have we got these Epstein files? Where's these Epstein files? And then they see like the blatant BS that's coming out with these Epstein files, how they're giving us like blank pages and things like that. Talking about, oh, we had to redact all this and redact all that. And then they've been talking about releasing these files since February. How is it like it's been since February, but you still don't have everything sorted out to release this stuff?
Well,
you've had nearly as long as Trump has been in office, you've had that same amount of time to prep all this stuff and get it out there. And remember, when it first came in, oh, it's right on the desk. We can just give all this stuff out. Now all of a sudden it went to there's nothing there. Now it's, oh, we have over 5 million pages that we gotta go through to give out.
Yeah, my guess is that for several months they never thought the files were going to be released at all. I think Trump thought that he could deflect or put out diversionary stuff, or like you say, delay or whatever. I don't think when Trump took office there was ever any intention of releasing the files at all. And as time has went on,
he said it in that Fox interview that they edited out, where he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll release the files." Well, maybe not so much because it'll hurt a lot of innocent people.
Yeah, and that's why it's so hard to get them, is because they never were planning to do this from day one. If they had been planning to release the files from day one, they could have read them all, did their redactions or whatever the case may be, and this stuff should have been ready to release probably last spring. But because they had no plans of ever releasing this stuff, once it ended up getting to a point where Trump no longer could block the release with the courts ruling against them, Congress voting against them, that's when they started doing what it takes to get the files out. And that's why it's taking so damn long, is because they took so long to do anything towards releasing them. But MAGA, so you're saying that MAGA, just because Trump is now in charge, MAGA is going to overlook the potential abuse of children?
Trump thinks MAGA is just going to go along with anything he says. That's why he's getting so much pushback now. Like,
is he wrong?
Apparently he is, because look at how the infighting is going on. He's got people that's quitting on him, and that's hurting Mike Johnson's power right there.
Yeah.
And then how many people like you already can see from like the things he's been doing, all that power that he gained from the last election, like that shit's gone.
And I'm reading something just real quick while you were talking. I saw it said something. Apparently, a judge has ordered President Trump to bring back all of the migrants that were sent to prison in El Salvador. You think that'll happen?
They're gonna make up some bullshit of why they can't. But on that note of orders, Tim, did you see what the Supreme Court said about Trump using the National
It's
Guard?
illegal. Yeah, they said even in Illinois and all that, it's illegal. We talked about that last night because if it's illegal, just like in legalese, there's a phrase called "fruit from the poisonous tree." So if a cop pulls you over and they had no legal right to pull you over, everything they found on you is tossed out because you had no, fruit from the poisonous tree. Well, anything the National Guard did in L.A.
Tim, I gotta address MAGA react because he tried to say I contradicted myself. I said Trump believes that MAGA will follow him blindly. I didn't say that they automatically follow him blindly. I said Trump believes that they will.
Well, you got good damn reason to believe that. I think he has good damn reason to believe that. Blindly. Yeah, but what I was getting at with fruit from the poisonous tree is that I believe that if it's illegal for the National Guard to be in Illinois, then anything that came out of them being there, let's say it led to somebody's arrest or something like that, that has to be tossed out.
All of that, yeah, is all going to be tossed out, and that's going to be another hit against what's the name? It's going to be another hit against the Trump DOJ that's been failing miserably this whole goddamn year.
All right, well, before moving on, so all you're wishing for in 2026 is that the government does its damn job.
Yes. Oh, and another thing, your last caller talked about capitalism hasn't been around. What does he think the free market is? What is all these monopolies that are doing mergers and buying up all these housing and things like that? What's all that if that's not capitalism?
Well, he didn't say capitalism is not around. He said we've never had a purely capitalistic country. Didn't count. Appreciate that. What he is saying is he believes there are too many socialist tenets in our government. He would favor, like when we talk about the free market, like the free market, there is some free market, but like monopolies and things like that have to get approved through government and stuff like that. He don't want that. Just let the free market do everything it wants, and he believes that America would be a better society.
And that would hurt us badly because if it was just like that, there'd be no one to ring in these companies and prices would skyrocket.
I don't disagree with you. There's a reason why you work over 40 hours, you get overtime. There's a reason why kids can't work beyond, at a certain age. You can't put a 3-year-old to work. All of that stuff is because they had to stop the free market. I got to move it on, James. Go ahead.
And if it wasn't for what Doge did, a lot of that oversight that we had would still be here to stop a lot of this stuff. Yeah. And a lot of these prices that's been jumping up would have got put to a halt and told that they can't do it.
Well, maybe the next guy will undo the damage of Doge. Appreciate it, James. Have a Merry Christmas to you and yours, man.
Same to you, Tom.
Thanks. All right, tap the screen, get the lights on up. We can make it happen at 50,000. Merry Christmas to all who's tuned in. Thank you, folks, that helped your boy reach that TikTok cap goal. Shout out to you. Look out for the program. It's damn Christmas, folks. Shout out to you, those who have helped out with the support. Problem is kids have to learn to work somewhere. Not at 5. Who said that? Brian Poole said problem is kids look, teenagers. I'm fine with putting a teenager to work. After, listen, I had a job washing dishes at a restaurant at 14, 15. At that, you work a few hours. At that point, okay. But they were putting kids to work at a lot earlier ages. And then, of course, there were no worker protections. You get injured on the job, they just fire you. That's what if you wanted to get rid of government oversight and just let the free market decide, you go to work and get injured, they would just fire you. They didn't have to take care of you like workers' comp and all that type of shit. That stuff wasn't around. OSHA, none of that stuff was. It was up to the company to make sure they do what's right by their employees, what's right by the environment. And they didn't. None of them did. If I got a factory and I have to pay some outfit to come in and haul the waste products away from my factory, that costs a fortune. If there's no law and I can just dump this shit in the alley in the hood somewhere, this waste, I'm going to do that. It's significantly cheaper to just go dump it in the river. So, yeah, you absolutely need government. I don't know why people think that if you get rid of government, the people are going to play fair. There's no history of that. There was absolutely no history of that. And there are countries out there where when you own a business, you don't deal with government intervention much. And most of those countries are places you don't want to live or you would not want to work there. Keep in mind what China was like when we first started using their labor. I mean, you got an old pair of Nikes. Think about who made those. Anyway, looking in the comments, I picked cotton on Saturday with my grandmother, says Adrian. All right, but you're not forced to do it to feed the family. Lisa Go Jam, appreciate the support, Lisa. By the way, the right is rolling back protections now, more asbestos and cancer DX in our future. Well, that's what we're talking about. Is that if you let corporation, look, the purpose of a corporation is to increase their bottom line. That's it. They're not there to be human rights activists. They're not there to protect the environment. They're not there to worry about any of that shit. They're not even there to worry about the health of their workers. They are there to increase their bottom line and enrich their shareholders. That is it. They will cut and undercut all of those other areas if they can increase money. They don't care about anything else but money. So firing employees that got hurt on the job, if they can get away with doing that, it's going to save them money. They would do that. I mentioned dumping waste, all of that stuff, all of those protections. They would get rid of all of that stuff. Merry Christmas. Support your local liberal, handsome conservative. Thank you very much. Kids used to work in mines. Now they are addicted to Minecraft. The children long for the mines. You guys are You want to put a child as a canary in a coal mine, huh? Just, put the baby in a cage when you go down there and use the flashlight. Just keep looking at the baby. If the baby goes unconscious, stop going further in the mine. That means it's not safe. That's what they do to canary. I don't even think you can get away with doing that to canaries anymore. I think the animal rights activists would not even want you to do that to canaries. Let me go back to the box, back to the mines. Continuing on with Papa Joe. Good evening, Papa. Muslims are better than MAGA now. MAGA has failed. Jam X, what makes you say that? You say Muslims are better than MAGA. Now, MAGA has failed. Wow. I would love to hear you elaborate on that. Is Wonder Woman a woman? I don't know. See what you can tell when she's spinning around, when Lynda Carter is spinning around. Let me, and by the way, I'll tell you this, if all transgender look like Lynda Carter, I think that trans would be probably in. I tried to bring up my last guest. I don't know what just happened there, but we'll continue on with MAGA Reacts. Good evening, MAGA. Kids in the canary care. I'm doing my part. Yeah, you're doing your part to show how evil you are. MAGA, good evening.
Yeah, by the way, we don't need canaries anymore. We have sensors that can detect CO2 and other
Thank
poisons.
God. Thank God. But
I got a thing in my living room that tells me the air is clean. I got it for free.
Would you be okay with putting elementary school kids to work, before high school? We're talking about 6th graders, 5th graders. Would you be okay with putting them to work? 2nd grader?
No, I think they make horrible workers. They need to learn to become good workers.
Yeah. I would also suggest that making them work at that early of an age would interfere with their education as well. I mean, because working can interfere with your education at any level. I mean, because you start making money, you start thinking education is not that necessary. So, yeah.
It also depends on the job, because we have child actors and other jobs children could do.
No. Yeah, well, yeah. If you're an actor or you're a hit artist or something like that, then yeah. But at the same time, acting is not a really. I mean, there's some demands to it, but compared to like one person talked about picking cotton or something like that, not the same, right?
Yeah, not the same, but they're both still jobs, and they both. I mean, I saw the first thing I saw when I got on TikTok today was some child actor that's turned into a homeless crackhead.
Damn.
And I don't know if you saw that video, but. It's kind of crazy.
Well, shit. All of the. I don't know if you were because you were born here, right?
No, I was born in Egypt.
Okay, so you probably.
I was 8, so I lived most of my life
Yeah,
here.
you're also not old enough to remember shows like Different Strokes. I don't know if you remember the sitcom Different Strokes, because that whole cast.
I saw some of it on reruns.
Yeah. That whole cast got it, with the exception of the guy who played Mr. Drummond. All of the kids in that got messed up in all kinds of crazy shit. So, yeah, you can be a child actor and get hooked on substances. I'm certain that happens a lot. Lindsay Lohan, didn't she get hooked on some substances for a while? She was on some shit. I mean, so
What about the girl from the Brady Bunch, Marsha, I think, or the older one? She was like prostituting herself for drugs and shit, supposedly, when she was during the show.
damn, Marsha was on the stroll. Shit, you can go out there and buy Marsha.
From what I've heard.
Shit, I mean, maybe I can see maybe Janet or Jan, the middle one, but Marsha, you can go down the street and buy Marsha. That ain't a bad pickup. Okay, I didn't know
If you had some
that.
cocaine back then,
Huh?
if you had some coke back then,
Listen, I didn't know Marsha was out there like that. She wasn't that bad looking. Shit, she for sale? What street you talking about? Anyway, before we continue on, thank you. Forever C10 says, Merry Christmas to you and yours, my brother. Thank you. I hope you have a safe and fantastic day and keep up the great entertainment. Forever C10. Quite generous of you. Thank you, Forever C10. So we're actually talking about, before we got into purchasing Marsha Brady, which okay, but we're talking about what is your Christmas wish in terms of politics going forward. What if you could get anything you want for 2026 political wise going forward? What might you say?
strong economy. People spending their money and money flowing from one person to another, and whoever's got the best product gets paid.
Well, if the current government does a good, you may get that. Do you think we're on the cusp of maybe getting it? That ain't just like with my last guest. That's not that's a fairly reasonable wish. You just want the economy. But Trump is saying the economy is the best it's ever been.
I mean, the last quarter, whatever that means, hit 4.1% GDP, which is higher, the highest it's been in 2 years.
You know it's bad when you say whatever that means. If you're not feeling it yourself, you say whatever that means.
I don't like saying stuff like that, and some guy in the comments will be like, "Oh, this means that, and it's not quite what you," because it's never 100% what it means, you know.
Well, listen, you've been in the country for a number of years. The man is saying the economy is the best it's ever been. Does that reflect what you're going through? Do you see it that way?
I mean, I had a very strong month, and my bank account's pretty good right now.
Wait, you can go to Vegas and have a strong month. Month.
Exactly. But if it can stay consistent like that, I'm a happy man.
And you think your strong month is based on actions from the president?
I don't know. I'll find out. Like I said, if it stays consistent throughout the next year, I'll give him the credit. Before I had him at a C, now he's like at a B minus.
Damn.
But if he keeps up the economy as strong as this last quarter, I'm a very happy man.
Blue One Banks, appreciate the ad mustard. You're giving Trump, as a Trump voter yourself, you're giving him a D minus?
B minus.
B as in boy. Okay, wow. I was about to say.
Every time you asked me that question before, I would say C minus. Now I'll take him up to a B minus because we had a very strong quarter in economy wise. But we'll see if it stays. If it stays, then he pops up to an A. If it's like a roller coaster, then he stays at a B minus.
Well, I see in the comments, what does that say? Not sure, something like that says it's bullshit. He says the economy isn't doing better. Well, what Trump said is doing the best it's ever done. But you're talking about the GDP. Here's what I don't get, because a lot of folks on your side.
Inflation. One more thing. Inflation being under like 3% or less is good. That's average inflation. I mean, every one of my leases, they always go up by 3% a year because that's how the average inflation is always around 3%. Higher than 3 is bad. Lower than 3 is obviously good.
Yeah, but for the average working man that's struggling to get along, I think we're going by metrics that don't even affect that person. Like we talk about the stock market all the time. People making under $30 an hour. That ain't really a metric that really affects them to any great degree. I think that we're judging stuff that really affects the wealthy and telling the poor, but if it helps me, it's going to help you too. And they're just not seeing that. I mean, like, price of groceries is something you can see instantly. Stock market, if you have no stocks, not so much. Now, the GDP, for instance, here's what I don't get, because we hear the right on your side of the aisle trash Gavin Newsom all the time. California has a very high GDP. And that's not leading to the right saying that Gavin Newsom is doing a good job. They're pointing out the things that people in California can see immediately, like the price of gas and groceries. So I don't understand why, if the GDP of California, which is like, I think the 5th highest GDP in the world or something like that, California got a higher GDP than most countries. And they're not giving Gavin Newsom or California politicians credit for this great GDP. So why is Trump getting credit for it?
Listen, you could burn California to the ground and it'll still have a very high GDP, because you're not comparing California and California. You're comparing California to like Minnesota and like other places that are tiny compared to California.
No, I'm comparing California to
before. Is their GDP higher now, or was it higher with the last governor? Is the question.
No, I'm comparing California to the world. If you burn California to the ground, as you say, the GDP of this country would drop significantly. A large portion of our money is in that state.
Yeah, but it's always going to have the 5th highest GDP. Whether it has a good government, whether it has the best governor on earth or the worst governor on earth, is going to always have the 5th highest GDP, because it's just a big fucking state.
Texas is bigger.
So
Texas is bigger.
Okay,
Alaska's even bigger than both of them.
Yeah, but they're not filled with people. We're talking about like population more than anything. They're also probably very high population. My point is, though, like their GDP, you can't compare it to other places. What you got to do is see what their GDP is now versus what it was before Gavin Newsom. If Gavin Newsom has improved the average GDP for California, then maybe he's not as bad as I think. But if all he's done is hurt the GDP, then he's a shitty governor.
Well, if you notice, when you hear Trump criticizing Gavin Newsom, he don't bring up the GDP.
Because I think California is going to do well no matter what. That's why it's got such a high. That's why it's blue. Because you can mess up everything, tax them to hell, and you can still afford it.
Wait a minute, what the hell did you just say? Wait a minute, explain that again. I don't get what. Look, California is blue because of what?
Most rich people lean Democrat, right?
No.
The last election's proven that, because most people voting for Democrats make over $100K. That's because they can afford taxes and all this shit. They can afford the regulation. They can afford all this bullshit that the Democrats do.
I'm not sure that most rich people lean blue. I think most rich people that don't go by the motto, if you don't work, you don't eat, lean blue. But there's a lot of rich people that the ones that don't want to share, to let them eat cake type, they all vote red, because the red favors being able to do that to people.
I think it depends also how you make your money. Because I know a lot of like rich people who have investment overseas, definitely not happy with Trump. But people like the owner of Home Depot has got all his investments in America. I think he was always a Trump fan from day one. I think that has to do with it a little bit, how you make your money, where your money's at.
Yeah, how you make your money absolutely matters, because certain parties favor certain things that are going to affect your bottom line. Like I mentioned the example earlier about owning a factory and wanting to dump waste in a river to save money and help my bottom line. Well, I'm gonna vote Republican because they're going to be less likely to regulate how I dump my waste. I want to vote for the side that is saying let the free market decide. I want to vote for the side that's saying less government intervention. The left is not only going to want to control where I dump my waste, they're going to want to know what it is. They're going to want me giving them all kinds of tests and things like that and taking samples. The right is just going to be like, just run your business. Just don't make a big fuss about it. Just run your business. So, yeah, I'm going to vote. If I'm running a business like that, I'm going to vote Republican.
No, but capitalism doesn't mean like no enforcement. What it means is the government can't tell you how to run your business, but they have to enforce that you're doing a good job and you're not polluting and harming others.
Capitalism, when I say no enforcement, I mean, for instance, like having to take care of an injured worker. That's the socialist side of it, is looking out for the downtrodden. The capitalist side of it is simply you work, you get paid for it. You don't work, you don't get paid for it. Even if the reason you're not working is because you got hurt on the job. We used to operate that way.
You got hurt on the job. The job has to pay for your injuries and your pain and suffering.
That ain't the way it used to be.
Takes that away.
That ain't the way it used to be in this country.
We've always had freaking personal injury.
No,
I mean,
we
I've
haven't.
listened to personal injury commercials since I was a little kid.
We
So
not only are you wrong about that, but before Obamacare, we also didn't even take care of people that had pre-existing conditions. So if you worked and you developed high blood, let's say you work at a job for 20 years, 20 years later in life, you're getting older. Shit's going to start happening that didn't happen before. Like I mentioned, high blood pressure or diabetes or something, high cholesterol, shit that just happens as an adult is getting older. Well, if you lose that job and you go to another job and start getting insurance there, they can say, you've come here. We've noticed you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. We don't cover that. That's a condition you already had, a pre-existing condition. Before Obamacare, they could deny you for that stuff.
I mean, I think that was more if you had no insurance whatsoever, and then
right. That's what happens to most Americans. MAGA reaction when they lose their job, they lose their insurance.
That's the one thing about Obamacare that I liked. That's the only thing about Obamacare that I liked. I mean, even the marketplace, I think the marketplace itself should have all insurances on there, not just the ones that are subsidized. But it shouldn't subsidize anything. Because when you subsidize something, you just make it more expensive. We've learned that from colleges. We've learned that from a lot of things. Every time you subsidize something, all you do is make it more expensive.
Yeah, I see it like you sound like my other caller, whereas a lot of the stuff you're saying makes sense because you're kind of telling the poor fuck off. A lot of the stuff that's in Obamacare is designed to help folks that have no insurance at all, that are underinsured or cannot afford it. So the only way to do that is to take from people who have to help those people out. If the people who have say, I don't want my shit to go up at all, I don't want to pay anything more, then there's nothing you can do for the poor. And that's kind of what it sounds like you want.
But in the end, all we ended up doing is giving money to insurance companies, and healthcare has gotten more expensive. Well, all I'm saying is you shouldn't subsidize, but you should make it cheaper. Why don't we, instead of paying for your health insurance, make just health insurance or healthcare in general so cheap that you could just pay out of pocket? Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah, but then that means you then got to start regulating the operations of insurance companies. The right is not a fan of using government to start telling corporations what they can and can't do, how they can and can't charge. You guys don't want to do that.
I don't want to regulate it, but I want to make it as very cheap.
How you going? If the insurance companies are gouging people, how are you going to stop them without passing laws to regulate what they can charge?
By making sure doing business is cheap, making sure they don't have to jump through hoops and hire 10 people just to do regulations. Instead, they could concentrate on creating a cheaper and better product.
So you're assuming,
and I'm pro having enforcement, having like a somebody watching over them, making sure that that's what they're doing.
Okay,
but let them do it.
And see, and what I'm saying is your party's not a fan of that, because what you're saying now is you make it sound like that if you remove the regulations from insurance companies and make it easier for them to provide insurance, they will reward their patrons by giving them cheaper insurance. You're making it sound like if you do the right thing by them, they're automatically going to do the right thing by the people. That's not always true. Just like with COVID, people started raising prices just because they could do it. You're in Florida. You know what they do when a hurricane comes through. Even if they got plenty of plywood, they still gouge. So if you look out for the companies, they don't always reward the people and do the right thing by them.
I mean, then a competitor will come and replace them, one that will have better prices, and he'll get more business because he's doing it better and cheaper. That's the whole point of capitalism. If someone's doing a bad job and there's a way to do it better and cheaper, someone will pop up and do it better and cheaper. But when you add regulation and you add all these fucking bullshit, you make it very hard for like a nobody to come in and do the job better because they can't afford the regulation.
Yeah, but what you're forgetting is that if I got a successful business and I'm not doing things great and you figure out a way to do it better and cheaper, you're skipping over the fact that I'll just come and buy you out and throw out what you were talking about. I'll buy you out and make sure what you were planning can never. There are people that believe they've developed engines that could run off of damn water and garbage, but Big Oil bought it out and threw away the patents. So there are people who believe there are cures for cancer, but the companies bought it out so they could continue selling you the treatment. So even if you do come up with a way of doing it better, there's no guarantee that I don't purchase your whole damn company from you and stop it from happening.
And someone else will come out and do it better. I mean,
And I'll buy them too. Exactly. We'll just keep buying them.
Monopoly laws for that reason.
Huh?
We also have monopoly laws for that reason, which
The government.
Again, like we just want the companies to play fair. We're not anti-regulation, but we're trying not to choke them either. Just because we were pro-capitalist doesn't mean we're saying no regulation. We just said reduce regulation, common sense regulation, not regulation to the point where only the elites could fucking do it.
Giant Robot says this guy believes in Santa. Isaac Clark says caller is literally judging the economy by his wages. I think that's kind of how people do it, though. They usually do judge the economy by what's going on with them personally. But I don't know. Go ahead.
State to state. You know, I think my grocery prices are great here in Florida. My Instacart, I buy the same thing every 2 weeks, and my bill is gone down. I used to pay up to like $500 during the Biden days. Now I'm in the $300 to $350.
Your Instacart bill has went down $150. What is that? 30% since Biden got in there? I mean, Trump got in there?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm going to go through item by item because saying the whole bill, looking at the whole bill is not accurate. I'm going to go item by item and try to create like a chart.
I would love to talk to you about that in the future, because the first thing I'm wondering is would that huge discount be reflected if you went to the store and bought that stuff, or is it some kind of change at Instacart? I mean, that's big. You're telling me a $500 bill dropped down to $300. That's huge.
Well, it doesn't matter because as long as I'm comparing to Instacart, doesn't matter, you know, what the reason is. You know what I mean? Like if I was going to the store one time and then using Instacart one time and I'm comparing the two, yeah, the results will be fucked up. But every time I'm using Instacart.
Well, Kevin Diaz in the comments says you're buying less shit. Kind of like what Trump said about Walmart. Walmart went down 25%, and it turns out it's because you're getting less shit. That's what Kevin Diaz in the comments said. You're buying less shit.
I have about 7, maybe 8 years of Instacart receipts. I'm gonna go through as much as I can and go item by item. And I go item by item. Doesn't matter.
That's got to be an explanation for that. That is colossal. If it's went down that much for you like that, I mean, there's nothing Trump has done to make grocery prices drop that much. I got to move it on, but I would love to know the outcome of that.
I know. First of all, groceries, a lot of it's local, so tariff doesn't affect it as much. And, tariffs increase prices, but all the other shit Trump's doing is decreasing prices, including, gas and regulation. And
well, you just said grocery prices are local. If it's all local, the price of gas ain't having much of an effect. The shit is already in the area.
You still have to distribute it locally.
I don't think gas prices ain't came down that fucking much.
And you still have to take it from the farms to,
Yeah, but gas prices ain't came down. Gas prices have only come down a quarter or so. Yeah, 25 cents. I mean, for most Americans, the price of gas this time last year.
Well, also electric is cheap here in Florida and other things. I mean, I'm not saying gas alone. It's a lot of things he's done. I think tariffs only. This is where everybody's like. I was watching an economist talking about the economy, and they're like, "What? They're like, why hasn't the economy crashed? Like we said, it's going to crash." I think it's because, tariff is one bad thing, but he's done like 10 good things to balance out the tariffs, including cutting taxes and other things. So
I really think the damage of the tariffs is something we have yet to realize. I don't believe the full scope of the tariffs is something, just like with the tourism industry. People from Canada are not coming here, Vegas and stuff. We're seeing the actual damage for that stuff. It takes time to realize that. I mean, because if Vegas starts to suffer, Vegas contributes money to the federal coffers of this country. All of that stuff is going to take time to accumulate. But I believe that the tariffs, I don't believe we've seen the full scope of that yet. But I think we will eventually.
I think the tax cut alone balance out the tariffs. And add on top of that, gas being cheaper and all the other things being cheaper, I think he's done more good than the harm he's done with tariffs. That's why the economy hasn't crashed like you guys said it was going to crash.
Well, they said Biden was going to. They said the same thing about
like 6 years and be like, oh, the tariff damage is coming. Like, how long? At what point do we give him credit?
Well, when it comes to the tariff damages, like for instance, if you can't, because he bailed out the farmers. So what was causing the farmers to need the farmers were blaming the tariffs because they couldn't sell soybean in China and all that shit. So he bailed out the farmers. So right now, whatever caused them to need to be bailed out, that condition still exists. He just gave them a bailout, which is basically putting a band-aid on something. So something is still under there.
In trouble.
Huh?
The farmers are always in trouble, and they're always getting bailed out. I think that's
They didn't get bailed out under Biden.
I mean, but Biden sunk so much money into the economy in a way they did. Because Biden basically put so much money in the economy. That's what caused the inflation.
I didn't hear the farmers bitching and complaining they were about to lose their whole fucking farm under Biden.
I guess, because at that time, everybody else was bitching and complaining. They probably didn't hear them over everybody else complaining.
That's what it was. They didn't hear them. They were showing up at Republican town halls talking about losing their farm.
I mean, that's how Trump got elected. I think we got to do Zoom next time.
All right. Yes, we do. We do. We absolutely do. Appreciate it, MAGA. Thank you. By the way, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 60,000. Merry Christmas to all you folks. And thank you folks for helping your boy reach that TikTok cap goal. Show your boy some love. It is Christmas wish list. Now, one of the things we were talking about, I have played this, but there's a lot of new viewers watching now that were not at the beginning. And by the way, real quick, I want to tell you folks that may be tuned in for the first time. Yeah! Appreciate the hat mustache DJ D's. Every time I see your name, DJ D's, and thank you for your support. Every time I see that, I think about these nuts because you spell it D-double-E-Z. Oh, I almost sound like DJ D's nuts, but I guess you can't holler that out in the middle of a club. Anyway, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 60,000. For folks who don't watch all the time, understand we are MAGA friendly. You hear MAGA guests, you're going to hear liberal guests. We always use the phrase, we go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. Appreciate that. Lisa, and Colt Jam. Wonder if I take you home, will we still be in love? Because I need it tonight. We are MAGA friendly on the program. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. So this is uncensored programming. We generally are here most weekdays. So if you enjoy this type of open dialogue from all sides of the aisle, ask you guys to do your boy a solid, do the program a solid. If you're watching us on Instagram, watching us on TikTok or Facebook right now, X also, we're on X, Handsome Liberal, same name across all platforms. If you're currently watching us on any of those platforms, give us a follow. If you're tuned in on YouTube, feel free to sub to the page. And feel free to smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube as well. Trump trying to move his assets to Florida to get out of paying his fines in New York. That might be a smart move. Shout out to O.J. Simpson for doing that. O.J. Simpson went and bought himself a home in Florida and lived a fairly upper middle class life until the day he died. He escaped the life. Now, Ron Goldman, and they got the huge lawsuit against him. Now, I think he's getting some of that from his estate, but O.J. Simpson held on to his money throughout his remainder of his life. We really shouldn't, but those are the teachings of the. Okay, you guys are talking amongst each other. Real quick, what I wanted to play, because we've got new guests.
Supposed to be over here. Please don't tell me I did something wrong. I don't want to.
I did not mean to bring that up, but if you see what's on the screen, that is Nicki Minaj, what we're talking about, hosting an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, which is crazy because she got on stage with Erica Kirk talking about trans and also discussing Gavin Newsom and all of that shit. But the reason I'm talking about Nicki Minaj is because apparently she's lost 10 million followers on Instagram because she got up there saying all sorts of things about trans. And she said this right here, which I think is probably the nail in the coffin for her support coming from at least the African-American community, the LGBT community, and many others.
I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys.
I know that you are getting a lot of backlash from your own industry. What is your reaction to that?
I didn't notice.
I'm sure she notices now. Lost 10 million followers on Instagram. This just obviously just happened a few days ago. She just was at the Turning Point Summit or whatever you want to call this. So said she didn't notice. She knows now because she had to ended up having to cancel or delete her Instagram account. So she is paying a huge price for that. By the way, that's what we're asking on the program. If your favorite celebrity, sports star, musician, you name it, if they were favoring the political opposition, somebody you really despise as a politician or political candidate, would that change your tune? Would you stop supporting them? Would they lose your business simply because they're supporting a candidate that you thought was not right for the country or not right for your state or local city government? Mick Foley from the WWE.
Is Mick Foley? We've only met once. We are both members of the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2013. We had a very short conversation where you told me it was an excellent speech. You have your two sons next to you, 2 or 3. And I said, thank you, Mr. Trump. But since then, I've become a fairly constant critic, and I think I've had good reason to do that. But I believe if I'm going to have any credibility as a critic, I have to be willing to give credit where it's due, and you are due a lot of credit. I believe I'm going to be excoriated by people from the left and the right alike, but I have to take the chance. Now, I want to make it a point. This is not a joke. I'm not out here to sling one-liners at you, to call you names. I'm here to appeal to you as a human being, because only you can stop the madness that's going on in our country.
Now, let's Mick Foley from the WWE. He's separated himself from the WWE because of their affiliation with Trump. And I think all of you folks know that the WWE is very closely associated with Trump. I mean, he put in over the Department of Education. What is the woman's name? I'm drawing a real blank here, but her husband was obviously in control of the WWF, WWE at one point, and his wife is now over the Department of Education. What is her name? Somebody, Linda McMahon. There you go. Yeah, because Vince, what's his name? Vince McMahon was over the head. He was the head of the WWE, and I don't know what place his wife has over the Department of Education, but put her over it. And then, of course, her job was to go in there and dismantle every damn thing. I don't get that, but that is what the attempt is. But Mick Foley has come out and publicly stated that he doesn't want anything to do with the WWE as long as they continue associating with President Trump. And that ain't going to change. My guess is you might start having folks view the UFC because Dana White is also heavily in with President Trump as well. So I don't know how that's going to turn out, but it is what. And by the way, isn't there some type of event that's going to be sanctioned, WWF or not WWF, UFC event, some type of boxing match or something that's going to be at the White House? Isn't Trump planning something like that? So if your celebrity of choice did not like the president, or Betty, if your celebrity of choice did like the president and you didn't, would it make a difference in your continued support for that celebrity? We'll move on with the show. Don't know why, Papa Joe, you keep popping up there, but we'll go back to the box. Love the Cruise. Peter, that wasn't okay. Welcome to the show. Love to Cruise. Good
Happy
evening.
holidays to you and to everybody in chat.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well. I'm trying to wonder because some folks suggested, what is it? What do they call Christmas parties now? Holiday parades and things like that. You know, a lot of folks on the right have become adverse to the term happy holidays because they're saying that the liberals are having a war on Christmas. Have you heard anything like that?
You know, I just say happy holidays because people celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, you know, Christmas.
Come on, Love the Cruise. You know they don't give a shit about them people. We're only talking about the Christians. They don't care about Kwanzaa.
I said, I.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair.
All right. So I say happy holidays and just say a Merry Christmas. You know, so that's my preference.
Okay, fair enough. Because I don't think
about the celebrity thing. It doesn't bother me at all.
And by the way, Jeremy in the comments says Kwanzaa is not a real holiday. Gangsta Grandma, I got you.
Jeremy sucked my.
What were you about
I
to
ain't gonna
say?
say nothing. I ain't gonna say. Happy holidays, Jeremy. Happy holidays, Jeremy.
You got Jeremy sucked by. No, happy
Happy holidays.
Okay.
Jeremy.
All right. I think I stopped something there. Jeremy, I saved your ass. Don't forget to thank me. Okay. So, does it matter if someone you favor, a celebrity, musician, singer, actor, actress, is openly endorsing a candidate that you despise?
No, it doesn't matter to me at all because if it's a celebrity, I'm watching them because I like to get entertained by them.
Okay.
So their political views really doesn't. I mean, Tom Brady,
Yeah.
Shaq. You know, there are a lot of athletes, and
Who is Shaq endorsing? I know Tom Brady's a Trump fan. Is Shaq endorsing Trump, or where's he left or right?
I seen Shaq go up there and just run to Trump and hug him.
Yeah, I did see that.
That's right. So, you know, you could say they can all say one thing or another, but when you get in that voting box, it's another. If I got a guy and I'm a millionaire, and he's talking about cutting taxes, who am I gonna vote for?
But you do realize some millionaires, like the Warren Buffett types, Jeff Bezos' wife, some millionaires believe they should be required to pay their fair share. All millionaires are not stingy like that. If you're a millionaire and the liberals come in and raise your taxes, you're gonna pay more in taxes, but it's not like you're about to become middle class. You're still gonna be fucking rich. All millionaires are not super duper greedy.
You know what? Until I see their voting card, I don't believe none of that shit.
Now,
I really don't. You can say one thing, but if somebody's going to save you millions and millions of dollars, and you're going to say, "Oh, I ain't going to vote for them," come on, man. I don't know about that.
Let me ask you specifically. Let's say, for instance, you were worth $100 million, and out of that $100 million every year, under the Republicans, you had to pay $10 million in taxes. So your $90 million is still yours. Obviously, more money than you can spend. That's generational wealth. No way of denying it. So all of a sudden, you get a liberal in there, and that liberal wants your $10 million to go up to $25 million. That liberal is disqualified then, right?
If I had $100 million, I have more red caps than you have. Those Make America Great.
Took a minute. I got it. Took a minute.
I would have more than you have.
Took a minute. I got it.
You know, in this country built on democracy, so you're voting for who you want to vote for.
Right.
You know, now what makes me mad, I understand the celebrities voting for them because they got a best.
Wait a minute, though. I don't know if I got an answer to that. What? Okay, going from 10 million to 25 million. With that,
I'm gonna vote for the one that I only got paid $2 million for.
Okay, all right. So you do understand, and that's just utter greed, because that person making your taxes go from 10 million to 25 million, they're not breaking you, and that extra 15 million from you could do a hell of a lot of goodwill to a lot of folks that you're just really just letting sit in the bank.
Well, what about this? If I'm really into it, and I know I probably would because I do this anyway, I would donate to charity. St. Jude's, Make-A-Wish. I can make the difference up in there. And I know, especially with St. Jude's and Make-A-Wish, that 100% goes to them.
Ain't no fucking body that's voting based on tax cuts gonna be nice enough to, if you don't want the liberals in there because they're high on taxes, you're probably not a very charitable person to begin with.
No, this is what I'm saying, Tim. You said there's an example of 10 million
right.
and 25 million.
Right. So you're gonna vote for the politician that keeps your taxes low. You're gonna vote for the politician that keeps your taxes low, but then you're gonna go and donate a bunch of money.
Exactly. I can donate 5 million. If that's what I'm into.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. If that's what I'm into, but at least I'm voting for my own interests instead of people who don't have money voting for the interests of the rich people. Yeah. See, there's a difference.
I would tend to think that if you voted for the 10 million tax as opposed to voting for the liberals that are going to tax you more. And you're going to go and be kind and generous and donate $5 million. My guess is you're probably only doing that for the tax write-off too. I think anybody that has that mindset that you're talking about, and I think most of the rich do have the mindset you're talking about, I don't think they're very charitable. I mean, I think that's the reason that we are leaning towards socialism and entitlement programs and things like that is because in this country, the wealthy are not very charitable. They're not looking out for the people below them.
I disagree with you. And I like I say, I like sports.
Mhm.
And let me use LeBron James.
Okay.
You know, he started a school
Right.
in Akron.
So did Oprah. Yeah.
That's right. He gives. I'm what, a half hour away from Akron. He gives a lot of things, and he does a lot of things in Akron that aren't publicized.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you don't hear about it doesn't mean that a lot of rich people aren't doing things.
Yeah, and I believe that LeBron is probably significantly more charitable than most people. I mean, like Trump brags about everything that he does, even things he don't do. Do you hear him bragging about donating money to anybody?
No, but he does. Yes, he doesn't do it. But Charles Barkley donates to cancer funds, but you don't hear. He doesn't advertise it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of them do a lot of things. Like I said, I'm in Cleveland, on the outskirts of Cleveland, and Cleveland Clinic has a bunch of buildings with people's names on it where they had donated money to build this building.
No, I don't.
And I don't know half these people, you know, but I know if they called the building a name, you're the one that built the building.
Yeah, but here's the point I'm making. Let's say you're worth 100 million, and every year you're kind enough to donate 100,000 or something like that. I mean, which is pennies to you, but you could make a huge charitable presence to people in town. You could do a lot with 100,000, and even if you're in a big city like Chicago, you can do a lot to get your name out there if you donate $100,000. Even though in reality that is nothing. You're not a very charitable person if you got that kind of money and you donate 100,000. It's just, but you could make people think that you're very nice with that 100,000 because you can get your name on a few things here or there. Maybe some. Not you're not going to get your name on the side of a hospital, but you can get you could like you're talking about buying bricks on the wall, something small, but you can get your name on a bunch of shit. I'm just simply saying I don't think. I guess percentage wise is what I want to use or something like that. I don't think the wealthy in America are very charitable. I think that you can, as you're talking about, people who donate money, you can do that as a wealthy person and get a lot of positive stories about you without donating any amount of your money that really makes much of a difference to your own income at all. Because you got so much. That's what I'm saying.
What's that? Goodwill? I think it's Goodwill.
Okay.
When you donate to Goodwill, and I'm close, I may not be accurate, totally accurate. Just say you donate $1. Guess how much actually goes toward Goodwill?
How much?
25 cents.
So what is it going to administrative fees, paying employees and stuff?
To the CEO and all that.
Yeah.
Now, if I got a lot of money, sometimes, you know, even with me, I don't have a lot, but I don't want to donate to somewhere where the money isn't going to go to where it's supposed to go.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
That's the reason I know St. Jude's and Make-A-Wish, 100% goes there. I did a little research on them. I know, and there's some other ones, but I know with them, 100% goes there. So, and I mean, you hear, now I tell you another thing that kind of pisses me off, but it's their money and they can do what they want to do, is when they go over, and I have no problem, but you go over to Africa and you're making schools and you're doing this, and all these kids over here are having problems.
What are you getting at?
I just think we ought to take care of the kids here first.
America first.
Your backyard first.
So in other words, because I had this debate with somebody that was MAGA, that was talking about Trump, you know, and I told him, I said, so how do you feel about Trump looking out for Argentina while Americans are still struggling? Because that's what it sounds like you're talking about. You're taking people, taking care of people overseas. I will say this though, even though American children are struggling, they ain't struggling like the kids in Africa though. I mean, there are levels of struggling. I mean, you're talking about people that are starving to death. Your kid may have a few issues here or there. They don't have a lot of changes of clothes. Maybe they only own 2 or 3 pair of pants, or the shoes they got holes in them. But they're not dying of starvation.
Computers aren't here dying of starvation here.
How does that happen? How can an American die of starvation?
Come on, Trump just took away the breakfast from them, lunch, all that stuff. It isn't like they're not having a ease. You know, they don't have, maybe they're not having a tough time in Africa, but they are having a tough time.
You think that American kids are at risk of starving to death here?
I think, yeah, they just not getting their food stamps back, Tim. Come on. Yes, there is a chance.
Now that's one, even though I stated earlier, I don't think that wealthy Americans are very charitable. I think if you actually had American kids starving to death, you could raise enough money. I mean, because you got folks, you can go out, you could have a white woman go out and call me the N-word, and people will find $100,000 to GoFundMe to her. I cannot imagine people letting Americans starve to death. I haven't heard that.
Now you're an older guy. I ain't gonna call you old man.
I'm old enough, shit.
But you remember Jerry Lewis Telethon?
Yes, I do.
And that used to come on every year, once a year.
Yeah, with George Burns and exactly. Bob Hope would come on there and all. I remember all that shit.
Yeah, and he used to raise a lot of money.
Yeah,
people were charitable. Yeah. And I just think now people are charitable. You just don't hear about it. Mm-hmm. I don't think. I know like Elon. I don't think he's giving up any money, but I do believe a lot of these millionaires are either giving up money or creating programs. Like Cuban has Cuban, even on Shark Tank, you know, he creates programs for young entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, they're doing different things.
How about this? Jeremy says American.
Lord, don't do that, Tim. Don't do that.
I gotta ask. He says American conservatives are more charitable than liberals. What say you? Because you're naming a bunch of liberals. You are naming a bunch of liberals.
Yeah, well, look here, man. I'm not answering none of Jeremy's stupid ass questions. He's a 29 he's 29, Tim. He just learned how to wipe his ass right. He's 29. He doesn't know shit. He wants to comment on what happened back in the 80s and the 70s. You don't know shit. You don't know a motherfucking thing. Shut up.
Oh my God. Wait, but think, Mamdani, how old is Mamdani? Like 30? He's in his 30s, right?
Yeah.
He's about to be the mayor of America's largest city. Does he not know shit too?
But he bringing new ideas and everything. Jeremy, look here. Ever since Jeremy repeated that bullshit from Kirk talking about Martin Luther King had 40 women, extra women and all that. I've been done with this punk ass, man. No, please.
All right. Oh my God. I was not expecting that. That's funny as hell. I was not expecting that. So your political wish going forward for 2026, what would you wish if you could get it?
Well, I do have to agree with Mega Reacts or whatever his name is. I would like a good economy and an honest politician.
Do they make those?
You asked my wish, right?
Yeah, damn, that's a good. You got me with that. Yeah, you got me with that. It is a wish, and it's certainly one that you won't fucking be getting. You got stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Hoping you'll be around in 10 years. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
I can wish for it.
Yeah,
you know. So
that is true. So but the crazy thing is, that's one of the things that people voted President Trump in for. Is he was supposed to not be like the crooked swamp creatures that we've always had. He was gonna be the guy who did not even take a salary. He came with his own money, so you didn't have to worry about him ripping us off. He promised to be the wish you are seeking. How close has he came in your eyes?
Not that close.
No.
Man, crooked as hell, man. Come on. The man is making more money hand over foot right now in the White House. I would really like to see before he got in the White House, and he isn't going to release it, and how much money he has when he leaves the White House. You know, he is making killing. I mean, selling pardons, citizenship, everything. You know,
you will eventually find that out, even if it's an estimate, because you get a liberal in there. They're going to, even if Trump is dead, because there's something that they're going to want to find out if any other people are involved in the corruption. Trump has made a ton of money, and he has made money based on being a president. So he's combined his businesses, sold things with the presidential seal behind it. Yeah, you will find out how much money he's made. And
his kids are making money.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, all of them are making money.
Yeah, you will find that out. My guess is Trump probably made more money. This is what I'm guessing. I believe that Trump made more money in 2025 than all his previous 78 years of life.
Yeah. You got a lot of people like you buying 5 or 6 hats.
I don't have 5. What, I got like 3?
Yeah, you even got a different color one. That's a rare one, isn't it?
No.
What's the one with the different color?
That's not a different color hat. This is a Trump was right hat. Trump was right about everything.
Yeah. Look at that. Collector's item. Collector's item.
It's about time I let you go. You're hitting too hard. You're cutting it down to the quick. Huh? Love the Cruz. Your signal's going out, but it's always a pleasure talking to you, man. I'll go ahead and move on. Your signal went out. Hilarious. Great conversation. You got me a few times. Come on back anytime. Looking in the comments, know if what you guys are arguing with each other. Know if you want to talk about that. Let's look at Biden's. Let's look back at. Here's a crazy thing you hear about coming from the right oftentimes. Trump derangement syndrome. Everybody's heard of that term. Anytime you talk about Trump, anytime you're heavily critical of Trump, you got Trump derangement syndrome. How the hell does the right not have Biden derangement syndrome? That dude comes up in conversations every fucking day. Every day, the right is either still blaming Biden or even Obama. Obama's been out of the White House a decade, damn near. As of, a few months, he will have left the White House a decade ago. And his name is still coming. We've had a whole Trump term in between Obama's watch. Trump has been in office for a whole 4 years in between that. And we're still blaming Obama for shit. How does that not equate to some kind of Obama or Biden derangement syndrome? I don't understand it. Obama's fucking gone. Long gone. Why is his name still coming up on shit? I don't know. And it certainly shouldn't be coming up from President Trump, but he is still bringing up. That would be like getting a liberal in there and a liberal president bringing up George W. Bush at this point. It's long gone. I don't see how the constant blaming of Biden doesn't count as Biden derangement syndrome. I guess you can only get derangement syndrome when it pertains to Trump. TDS meds available at Walmart. We accept EBT. Where are the Biden derangement syndrome meds available at? Let me know that in the comments, Paul. Good to see you. Merry Christmas to you. Tap the screen. Get us on up to 85,000. Let me go back to the box and we'll go straight to Gangsta Grandma. Gangsta, we're going to make it today, right? Yeah, appreciate that. Nogario, I think that says.
Guess what, Pookie?
What's
My
up?
little buttercup of a fat fucking marshmallow. I can't stand you. But let me tell you, I have to be somewhat nice to you because I have my folks in here, and they told me to be nice to you, even because you're a black man. Isn't that unfortunate?
Black privilege, baby. Give them my regards.
Yeah. So let me look, but I'm still gonna come off your black ass because you don't see.
Do you got something against black people? Why is my skin color coming up?
Oh, I love Mr. BBC. What you talking about? I don't like the uncooked shit. I would never touch my fucking mouth. What the fuck? But yeah, BBC all day, baby.
You're talking about British Broadcasting Corporation, the news channel, right?
Broadcast system.
Okay.
It melts my mouth, not in my hands. That's what my wish is.
You put the whole news network in your mouth.
Yes. No gag reflex. That's it, Tim. Well, let's get back to the subject. So, the first guest, I want to wring his fucking little neck because, see, he said anybody could make it in the United States. See, he's white. That was white privilege right there talking because they're still doing redlining to this day.
Wait a minute. Wait. You're telling me in 2025, anybody cannot make it in the United States?
Not everybody, no, because they still have redlining. Remember a couple of years ago, it was a year or two ago, the banks got caught up in redlining. They're still doing it to this damn day.
Okay. Well, and by the way, William, appreciate the hat and mustache. Thank you folks that helped
Oh,
me with
yeah,
boy
you know
Rich
what
Show.
my political wish is?
What's your political wish?
That he croaks.
You don't mean that, right?
I really do mean it. I want Bobby some champagne and everything. It's coming.
It's coming for all of us. But you know the crazy thing is, I'm really surprised that before you, every person that's come up left and right, they've had fairly reasonable wishes. You're the first person that wished that somebody dies.
hey, you know, I'm a real one. Unfortunately, you have some fake ones that won't say what they want, but hey, I do. And you gotta get off your knees though, Chan. That's my wish for you. Get off your knees for the white man and push the hell back. You wasn't pushing back on that shit. All that shit they was doing was spreading misinformation. Well, you know what? I wish while we had the white tea privilege.
Here's a photo just for you. Is that what you're looking for?
Hell yeah, in the ground. And let me tell you something. They're still standing with a pedo. They're standing with a baby. You know what? Because what did you just read that note that just came out about throwing a baby in Lake Michigan?
I have.
That is
What?
nasty. Yes,
What?
they threw a baby in Lake Michigan, a newborn. And he was right there watching it. Ain't that about some shit?
Wait a minute. No, I have not heard this. Who threw a baby in Michigan? What are you talking about?
It's in the Epstein files. You didn't see that?
An actual baby was
Baby. Someone got a kid pregnant, and the uncle and
So this is somewhat of an illegal pregnancy termination.
No, it was a baby. And they threw the baby. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl. Threw the baby in Lake Michigan. It's all over the internet.
And you telling me what Trump was involved in this?
It said Trump was right there watching it with the girl. The girl said it.
By way of yes or no in the comments, who else have heard this? Has anybody else heard this?
That's crazy. And they're still standing with the punk.
Yes or no? Has anybody else heard about this? I haven't heard. Yeah, see, wow. When did this information come out?
It just came out, I think, last night or day before yesterday. I don't remember. I've been so fucking high because my family's in town. You know what I mean? You know, when you get a whole full of black people in that thing, we playing bones and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but damn.
I've been honey.
Yeah, but this is pretty. That's pretty damning. I haven't heard that. I see one of my viewers, D2C, says this lady watches too much CNN.
It's all over. It's even on Fox News. It's everywhere.
I'm dying to hear about this.
They threw a baby in Lake Michigan, and people are having a fit about it. They said, "Why is he not being impeached?"
Yeah, I see one here says Epstein document says Trump witnessed murder of newborn baby. Damn.
And why is Bill Clinton got BJ? He lied about it. He got impeached. He just did some fuck shit right there. Why is he not being impeached?
I guess I gotta ask because of how damning this is. Do you believe that Trump would do something like that though?
Really, Tim? Get off your knees.
I gotta ask.
I like BBC. You need to start liking some chocolate coochie. Because that is fucking crazy what you just said. Do you believe? Yes.
You believe that Trump
He's a pedo.
You believe that Trump would witness somebody taking the life of a newborn baby and not say anything about it?
Because it could have been his.
I thought Trump was pro-life.
I can't tell if he went and seen throwing a baby in Lake Michigan.
I only see one person, but this has got to be new information. I just want to hear because this is somebody on the internet. I don't know who the hell this person is, but he's the only person on the internet that I can find.
No, it's a lot more people.
I'm on YouTube. I don't see them. So
it's not on, honey. It's on TikTok. It's on Instagram. It's everywhere.
Okay, well, let me. I want to hear a few minutes of this.
Listen,
Hold on.
listen, Buttercup.
Okay, well, hang on. Let me hear a few seconds of this.
To stonewall, to stop, to delay, or just refuse altogether. It is no wonder that Donald Trump did not want the Epstein files to see the light of day. Not only have we seen the letter that was within the Epstein files, but the DOJ is now seeing was fake. So apparently there's all kinds of fake evidence in the Epstein files. Make it make sense? Not only have we seen that letter from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nassar saying that Donald Trump is one of us, Donald Trump also loves to touch.
Okay, I want to get past. I want to hear.
But leave that, do you? Why would you not? With all of the other evidence.
It's an 11-minute video. I obviously can't hear it all here, and he's not getting to that point immediately. But I'm that's a hell of an accusation.
Hey, you know what? And they're still riding for the pedo. Go fucking figure. So I told you this is all about racism. This ain't about doing right and stuff. And then people are really believing that the groceries went down. And let me tell you about Instacart. Let's break this shit down. They just got sued. Instacart just got sued because they're charging more, you numbnut. Charging more. So you think your groceries is going down. No, they're taking the fees out, numbnut.
And that's what you heard. You talk about I don't push back. That's what I asked him. I said, would them prices be the same at the grocery store? Because I wondered if it was something related to Instacart.
They got sued, and then they have to take it all back because they was proud. They did something. I don't do Instacart. I'm not lazy. I'm not like, you know what I mean? I like to touch my fucking food. I like to see my damn food. You know what I mean? Like I went in there a couple of days because I have like, you know, I have a shitload of my people, all black folks, come up in. I had to cook for their asses, right? So I went in to get a prime rib roast. Do you know how much a prime rib roast, 12 pounds is?
12 pounds? No, how much is that?
$500.
I know the price of a steak. Like I like a good T-bone myself. And it's getting hard to find one of them for under $30. I mean, it is getting insane. Yeah, it is getting insane.
That is insane, but yet the people, where? And I have money, but where?
I don't know,
but
but
going down. Do you know why the gas is going down? Do you know why the gas is going down?
Because
it's crashing. They're going to lay off 30,000 employees at the gas.
But what I'm going to say something. I think it was either MAGA Reaction or Jeremy. One of them made a good painting. The economy is on the cusp of failing under Trump since he got in. Well, with the GDP came out and it looks a little bit better.
You know what? The GDP. Let me break this another shit down. That's how ignorant these motherfuckers are. The GDP. That's not for us. That's for the big companies. They're making money. That's not for us.
Yeah.
That's not for the poor people, the middle class. What the fuck? That has nothing to do with us. We're spending money on them. That's what's in the GDP. And I will. That's nothing to do with the economy.
And I actually agree with that. But before we continue on, in regards to what we talked about earlier, I went to Google and I just typed these 4 words: Trump witnessed newborn baby. And there's a whole lot of sites that is talking about what she said. So, and it ain't just all left and right. I mean, there's a whole lot of sites. If you Google Trump witnessed newborn baby, not even talking about what happened to the baby, just type that in and you'll get exactly what she's talking about on a variety of sites. So apparently,
I thought you was up to the game. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. That's why you get off your fucking knees for the white man and go do some searching. You think that white man cares for your black ass? Hell, fucking.
Why you gotta blame the white man for everything?
And then look at you. Oh yeah, another fucking thing. You was over here with a crackhead because those Star. Oh, well, I didn't know she was on crack.
Who are you talking about?
She looked good. Little fucking snow roach.
What's wrong with Marsha Brady?
I tell you, I swear to God, you've been carrying so much bleach. Why don't you go with the black woman for a damn change?
Wait a minute.
Why do you have to always do that, Tim? You always put down black women, and you always got the snow roaches. And now she's the one that's on cold.
Okay, first of all, let's be clear. I don't always put down black women. There's tons of black women.
Yes, you do.
That's not true.
You always come for me. Always.
I put you down?
You're trying to choke me out. No, I put me down. I wish you would. Oh Lord, I'll be going to DV. I'll be going to jail.
I don't put you down, gangster grandma. You put me down.
I put you. Yeah, I sure do.
Right.
Better put you down. Put my hands on you because you be acting like a total ass. I can't say it right now because my auntie's right here. But yes, you know what I say with your knucklehead looking ass.
I don't know what you're saying. I think you're being mean to me. I think I'm a very...
Oh, well, you know what? You want a cookie? I'll give you a cookie.
Oh.
You know exactly what I'm doing. That's all you like doing, Timmy Tim Tim. Come on, girly pop. Get out your feelings.
I know that, look, for me, the question I asked, whoever that was saying Marsha Brady was for sale, I just thought, like, look, man, if she's for sale, that could be a decent purchase. That's all I said.
I bet you would purchase her. I bet you do.
Is she really that?
You guys will fuck or suck. For gosh damn thing. You motherfucking men will fucking suck. So yeah, I feel you, honey. You go right ahead. You a fucking suck.
Is there really is she really that bad looking?
I do not fuck with white women. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm bisexual. I love me some chocolate. That's my preference. Chocolate melts in my mouth, not uncooked protein. I'm sorry.
But you could say whether somebody is unattractive or attractive, right?
I don't know her like that, so I can't say. You know, looks is behind the beauty, and honey, I don't think she's cute, but hey, so more power to you.
All right, I'm just simply saying.
Michelle Obama is beautiful. Okay? Okay? Yeah.
Right. Well, Michelle Obama, how old is Michelle? Michelle Obama's like 60 something.
Yeah, 60, she's still rocking it.
She ain't bad looking. I mean, you know, I think Jasmine Crockett looks better.
She took care of two beautiful women, got big and grown. But getting back to what we was talking about, I tell you, look at them. They will twist their asses in pretzels to defend this man. He was there. Let me tell you something. All these files are coming out. All these files, it's making him look worse and worse. And you know the DJ, whatever, the DOJ, whatever the hell they call it, you know what they say? All of it is not true.
I'm going to push back on you. You're not going to like this.
You will. Where's the pushback when that white man told you that black people has it easy in this country when he first came out? Why did you push back on that white man?
Who said something like that?
He said that we could get it just like he can. Why didn't push back? And then call Chicago. What? What did he say about Chicago? Timmy Tim Tim?
He said Chicago's a war zone.
No, he said it was trash.
Well, the president said the same thing. I was about that.
Why you didn't push back at your own city?
I did push back. Well, let me push back on you right now, goddammit. Let me say it like
this.
You
ready, Timmy?
Well, if you give me a minute to say it, here's what I don't get. Why the hell would someone of Trump's stature who is not involved show up to attend a murder? I mean, does this sound believable?
It could. You know what? Honest to God, Tim. And, you know, it was a young girl, you know, her uncle unalived it, and he was there. Why do you think he was there, Tim?
I don't get why listen, even if
Why do you think he was there? I could put money on it. It was his.
Even if it's his, I would tell Michael Cohen, I need you to attend something. This isn't good, but I need you to be there for me. Make sure make sure this is taken care of. I can't be here.
He was there. No, Tim, quick, get the cock out your mouth. You know, that's our job as a women. We're supposed to be sucking it, not the man. You know what I mean? And anyways, like I said, get off your knees for the white team, man, because this is disgusting. They voted for this shit.
Well, they didn't.
And it's gross.
They didn't vote for him to murder children.
Oh, well, you know what? They knew what they was getting into. Everybody was saying he's in their files. He's a pedo. People was coming out. 28 women. All these things coming out. Oh, no. Oh, no. Now, look, he's a baby murderer.
Well, you know, we kind of got involved in this conversation before, and you got a bit passionate, but just to reiterate, I will say that a lot of folks did not hold him accountable for that because a lot of folks believe that when a guy is wealthy, some women will lie on him to try to get access to his funds.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
We don't have to go down this road.
Like I said, Tim, No, let me tell you something. I was in my feelings that day, okay?
Okay.
Man, let me break this shit down to you. Yes, there are women, and there are women out there, very few, that lie. There is. I ain't gonna justify it. I can't say, it doesn't happen. Okay, should they get consequences? Yes.
Do they?
They should. They should, okay? But there is 99.9% of women coming out and saying shit is going down. These women already got justice on 2 of their asses. Okay?
You believe that?
Wait.
You believe that 99.9% of women?
I say 9.99 because of the 1%. But yeah, they're not liars. And the 1% that makes us look bad, yeah, they need to go down for the shit. But not 99.9%. They should get their justice. They already got their justice by the Armstead, whatever his name is, and that woman. And guess what? Wasn't she in maximum security? And when all hell was breaking loose and they were going to bring these files to light, wow, she got it to minimum. And she has a dog. But yet she's a pedo. And she's a sex trafficker. Do you guys understand that 1 out of 5 young girls is getting sex trafficked in this country? 1 out of 5. And we have the biggest one in office right now.
Well, how about this thing? Based on what you're saying in the comments, a pretty little thing too says, why lie on a man that's saving our country? And that's a woman. That is a woman that said that.
Because you know why? She's sucking on her white man's cock. That's what it is.
She might be a white woman.
Yeah, she's a white woman and her husband. That's why. Yes, master. Yes, master. Because she can't go vote for her own damn self. She voted against her own damn body. Because now men can tell her what she cannot do with her own fucking body. Ain't that some shit? She voted against her own what? That's white women for you, though. They trashy ass. That's why I call them snow roaches.
That's a racist way of approaching that.
Hey, they call us fucking monkeys and everything else. They ain't wood. I get right back at them. Ain't wood.
Well, she responds by saying she voted for what's right. Trump is right. That's what she voted for.
What's right? You got a baby smurder in office. You got a pedo that's in office. All the victims are coming out left and right saying that he was on there. The damn files are coming out. His name is in everywhere. Everywhere.
I mean,
right before that guy got unalived, and I know he got something to do with it. Right before that guy got unalived, he put his ass there, said he is one of them.
Wow. Now, even in the comments, Southern Gal, yet another woman says President Donald Trump is the best president ever.
Yeah, that cock is really big, huh? They're deep throwing it to the balls, aren't they? Little small little Vietnam sausage. They just deep throwing it, aren't they?
I don't know about all of that, but I'm just simply saying there's a lot of women that think Trump is doing a good job.
That he ain't doing shit, and they just ride on the husband's dick. That's all.
What?
If that was the case, then why is everybody complaining about the grocery prices? The gas, it's down, but it's because of the oil refinery that's fixed to close. It's going to go sky high. There's 2 oil refineries that's going to be closing in California, where I'm at. In California, they're going to be closing. Over 30,000 employees are going to lose their job.
Well, like I said, until that happens, a lot of MAGA.
Like I said, get off your knees for the white man.
I'm just saying a lot of MAGA thinks that you're fear mongering. You got to say a lot of stuff.
But let me tell you something about fear mongering, okay? They voted for a pedo. They voted for a baby sexual killer. They voted for everything. This is a price. All this that we're paying for because they don't like black and brown people. They are racist. They are bigots. They're not even a Christian. And remember that video I showed you about the maggots? And I said they're not really Christians. They're Christian nationalists. They are. They're Christian nationalists.
Thank you, Monacola. Thank you. Well, let me in Monacola with that snow globe. That was beautiful. Thank you. Let me just say this. You're making a hell of a lot of heavy accusations against President Trump that have no proof. You don't have any proof of this stuff you're accusing him of.
Okay. All the Epstein files are coming out. That's your proof right there.
No, it's not.
They are. Yes, they are. The witnesses and everything is coming out and saying it. What are you talking about? He was there when a baby got murdered in the damn river, the lake.
Let me ask you this a simple question. Is it possible that somebody could say something awful about President Trump that's not true? Can you make up a lie about
Nope.
President Trump?
Because you know what? He was too damn into it. He's too damn into it, Tim. He was best friends with the guy. They had pictures. They even took down the pictures of him with other girls.
So
They took
everything,
them down, Tim.
so everything that people say in regards to accusing Trump of committing a crime or doing something wrong, you believe everything you hear bad about Trump.
I believe it. Because you know why? Because the proof is in the pudding. Every time they came to that, you know how they put that black shoe, that daiquiri, whatever the fuck it's called. They're trying to take his name out. Well, guess what? People could undo it. And they're saying everything that is on there. They have it there, Tim.
I'd say the man is innocent until proven guilty, though. You believe that?
Really? Really, Tim?
I mean, even your favorite friend Magariac says that's the problem. The left has no idea what is proof and what is a joke or what is junk.
Why is he hiding? Why is he trying to not let the shit come out? If he was so fucking innocent, Tim, let him all come out. Like Bill Clinton. Okay, he's in it, right?
Yeah.
Bill Clinton said, release the files. Release them.
Well, Trump is on record.
He said he has nothing to worry about.
Trump is on record saying release everything too.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did.
When they start, when he was running for office, he said he released them. But when it got to the time to release them, he backed the fuck off, Tim.
Isn't he on record saying he told Pam Bondi to release whatever they got?
Nope. He's making every damn excuse, Tim.
I'm pretty sure I heard. All right. Well, anyway, I got to move it on. I think you might be wrong about that.
When they started to really pursue it coming out, and then that's why they did not open up the government, because they was going to vote that one woman in to release him, and then people are turning on him and stuff. Yeah, he's making every excuse why he doesn't want to release the files. A guilty man would do that. Not an innocent man. Bill Clinton made a statement. Release the damn files. Release all of them. What is he doing? They're still not releasing them, okay? So come on, Tim. Get off your fucking white man cock. Get off your ass. Does it hurt a little bit? Without the lube, Tim? Does it? Are you want to bend over and say, yes, master? You a house ninja. Let's keep it a book,
my
Tim.
God.
Because, you a house ninja.
I thought you
were.
would.
Christmas fucking Eve. I was trying to be fucking nice. Now my auntie's going to pop me in my damn mouth. But let me tell you something. You are a true house ninja. You are a fake liberal. Take your ugly fucking fat fucking ass to them maggots and see how good they treat your ass. They'll body wipe your ass, okay?
Gangsta Grandma, Merry Christmas. I'll talk to you
Merry
next
Christmas
time.
to you
Merry
too.
Christmas. Not easy, folks. This is not easy. Hope your boy out with that Jesus. Hat and mustache cap go. Thank you guys that are supporting the program. It ain't easy being me, but I'm here for your entertainment. Nevertheless, tap the screen if you're watching us live on YouTube. Feel free to sub if you're watching us live on Instagram, TikTok, or X. We're currently live on all those platforms. Feel free to follow the program. Gangsta Grandma needs her meds, says Chiwi. Gangsta Grandma is a passionate viewer. She always comes through and slams hard, but we don't block, ban, or censor, so it kind of is what it is. Going back to the box, hopefully somebody will be a little bit less hostile to me on this Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to all of you folks, to you and yours. Thank you for that, Danny Dan. Appreciate that. Den Cow is on deck. Real quick in the comments here, I want to see what it says. U.S. District Court, SDNY. What does that says? Jane Doe versus Donald J. Trump and Epstein case. What is that case about, Kabira? I don't think Dinkow is going to come up. It looks like it's freezing there. I'm still reeling from Gangsta Grandma tearing me to pieces. Trump signed a bill to release them. For me, the story on Trump is it's a challenging one because Trump has said he wants the files released, but clearly his actions are not that. Marjorie Taylor Greene, for instance, is not out making lies on Trump. I don't think anybody would believe that Marjorie Taylor Greene is just making up lies on President Trump. And she's made it clear that he is not forthcoming with those files. She stated that he's putting up resistance. We can talk about the liberals. We can talk about the liberal media. Marjorie Taylor Greene is none of that. And she has openly stated that he is stonewalling with those files. So he is saying things about, I want them released and all of that. But it's pretty clear behind the scenes, he is doing something different from what he is saying. He is not, because look, I think we've heard from the left. You heard my last caller. We've heard from people on the left. But I think even the folks that are, hardcore supporters of President Trump, I think we can all agree on one thing. The only reason these files have not come out, the only reason what's come out has been heavily redacted is President Trump. Period. He is single-handedly doing this. If President Trump stated, I want all the files to be released, put on the website with 0 redactions, that's how they would come out. That is exactly how they would come out. Everybody can agree, whether you like Trump, whether you dislike Trump, that Trump is the reason these files have taken so long to come out. And he is the reason they've come out in the condition that they're coming out with all the heavy redactions. He is doing that single-handedly. So he's saying he want to release them, but yeah, what kind of reminds me of the R. Kelly song. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. What he is saying and what he is doing are not the same. Anyway, looking in the comments though, he has so many countries coming to our country to start multi-billion-dollar businesses making our country money. Now, you're speaking on behalf of Trump and the future of America's economy. If what you're saying, because what you're saying is what Trump is saying, Richard O'Brien, if that is true, Trump may go down in history as one of the best presidents for our country economically. However, there is a huge difference, just like I mentioned with the Epstein files. There is often a huge difference in regards to what President Trump says and what actually happens. Trump says a lot of things that don't come true or do not culminate into anything with fruition. I mean, when he met with Kim Jong-un during his first term of North Korea, it was a great meeting. We had a very positive, nothing came out of that. When he met with Vladimir Putin in Alaska, where he laid out the red carpet, paid for the guy to use our money, our tax money, to give the guy a military flyover and then put him in the beast and drove him around in the presidential limo. Once again, he had a very good conversation with Putin. Nothing came out of that. The war's still going just like it was before that. 0 came out of that. So President Trump often will tell you positive stuff, such as COVID would be gone by April. No clue why he said that during the height of the pandemic. But when he starts saying things like what you're echoing, that all of these businesses are going to invest in America and things like that, he says a lot of positive stuff that don't come true. If it does come true, we'll give him credit for it. But he is known for saying a bunch of great shit is about to happen, and that stuff does not happen. That's all I'm saying is it's got to actually happen first before we get to that point, because he says a lot of things that sound great and they don't culminate. I mean, he had a lot of great meetings with Zelensky of the Ukraine as well. None of that stuff has actually culminated into anything of significance. So all of these folks that are saying the jobs are going to come here, and if they do, they do. Big Boss says, Tim, stop being disingenuous. How? Let me know when I'm saying this wrong. When I say that Trump says a lot of positive things that often do not result in any positive results, you're telling me that's wrong? You're telling me every time Trump says something positive is about to happen, it actually takes place? Is that what you're telling me? Let me know in the comments. He strings his supporters along, says Cabrera. True, but he also makes new supporters saying that, because when I went to a Trump rally, I've been to a couple of them, I believed him. When he said he could end the war in 24 hours, my first thought was he has a really strong relationship with Putin that Biden and many other presidents did not have, and he probably could pick up the phone and get Putin to back off. I actually believed him myself, and I wasn't a supporter. He strung me along too. So he does say a lot of great stuff is going to happen that doesn't turn out to be real. If it does, give him credit, but he does say that. Let me go back in the box. Big Boss says I typed 3 times Kim Jong-un stopped firing rockets at Japan after their meeting for 6 months. He did stop doing it for 6 months, because we covered that. For 6 months after Trump met with him, Kim Jong-un stopped firing rockets. By the way, the rockets weren't doing any damage. He was firing them over Japan. They were landing in the ocean. If Japan gets attacked, I think, are they a member of NATO? I know if Japan, we got U.S. servicemen and women in Japan. He didn't strike Japan. He was firing over their country. So it wasn't really harming Japan anyway. So if he hits Japan, then we're required to go to war with him. So he didn't do that. He was firing over Japan. But he did stop that for 6 months. But then he started again, and Trump was still president while he started that. So he didn't get nothing out of that. Tim, you are a hard mark, says Mr. Magic. I don't even know what that is. Let's all consider what we talking about is Kamala had won. Oh, what would we be talking about if Kamala Harris had won? Same shit we were talking about when Biden won. We would be still talking about too many immigrants in the country. We would still be talking about the LGBTQ community is making too many gains. We would still be talking about too many people on welfare and food stamps. We absolutely would be talking about trans anywhere we saw them. We would be talking about socialism is taking a strong hold in the country. We would probably be complaining that we sent too much money to Ukraine because we would still be helping the Ukrainians out. I think there are tens of thousands of Ukrainians that are dead now that would still be alive because we would certainly be helping out the Ukrainians far more than we're helping them out now. I also do not believe we would have let Netanyahu go as far as he's went. The Biden administration also were pro-Israel, but their supporters were pushing back. On the right, the right has no love for the Palestinians and people of Gaza. They don't give a damn if Netanyahu turns that area into a sheet of glass. The liberals were speaking out in favor of that. So Netanyahu would not have gotten a free pass. Argentina would be $40 billion poorer. The farmers, though, who voted right would be doing better because they would have never lost that those soybean sales to China. That would not have been interrupted under Kamala Harris. Vegas would be doing much better under Kamala Harris because they would not have lost all their tourism from Canada. So that also applies to Disney World, Disneyland, and everywhere else in this country that connect all of the national parks, all of that shit that the Canadians come and enjoy, a lot of Europeans, all of them people are hurting. And then, of course, probably damn near everybody that has a federal job would be happier because morale would be happier. Morale would be better. Not only would morale be better for federal workers, many federal workers that are now unemployed would still have their jobs, their seniority, their vacation, their pensions, et cetera, et cetera. So a whole lot of people that have been fired that would not have been. So there is pros and cons in it. What policy has Trump implemented to this date to benefit MAGA? I don't think it's the policies that benefit MAGA. I think it's the mindset. I think the biggest benefit, and I'll go back to the box, tap the screen, get us up to 125, if you will. I think the biggest thing that MAGA is celebrating that Trump has accomplished is the direction of this country that they believe was wrong for this country. Certain groups of people that were gaining and taking ground and getting too far, getting rights that they didn't like. I mean, the transgender community doesn't affect MAGA to limit their freedoms and limit their gains, but MAGA cheers it on because it's a group of people that MAGA is not very favorable of. MAGA believes the transgender community is harmful to children, et cetera, et cetera. So Trump makes life hard for transgender. That is a win, and MAGA likes that. Same thing with immigrants. I don't think most MAGA are harmed by people that are here illegally. There's not a lot of MAGA that are going out like Lincoln Rally. In fact, there's not a lot of Lincoln rallies to begin with. But MAGA does not like these people coming to the country. As Trump said, they poison in the blood of the country and they're vermin. So just kicking them out is going to make MAGA happy, even though it doesn't really affect them at all. Sending the National Guard to Chicago is another one. Most MAGA don't live in Chicago. But hearing that Chicago had the National Guard forced upon them and they didn't have any choice in the matter, that's something that MAGA cheers on. Send them to all liberal cities. We don't like liberals. Make the life of liberals miserable. That is something that MAGA considers a victory. Like I said, none of this stuff is changing the quality of life for MAGA. They just, you're going at the people we don't like. So we like that. It's kind of what it's like. Listen, I'm watching the Bears and the Packers play last week. As a Bears fan, I don't like the Packers. The quarterback of the Packers took a helmet-to-helmet hit. He's out of the game, concussion protocols. I shouldn't like that. I shouldn't favor that, right? Doesn't change my life at all. I cheered, though. I mean, this is what it's like. You like seeing people that you don't like have an adversarial action. That's what MAGA is celebrating. MAGA is celebrating Trump doing things. The Somalis. You got folks that live in Montana talking about the Somalis are ripping off Minnesota. They're not going to Minnesota. Minnesota doesn't affect them financially at all. Alter ego. Wow. Thank you, alter ego. I appreciate that. So to me, that is the biggest accomplishment that Trump has made as president. Is he has made a lot of liberal, or better yet, conservative adversaries pay a heavy price. He's went after all of the people that tried to have him arrested. People are losing their jobs. A lot of media outlets that speak ill of Republicans have paid heavy prices. Some of them are out of business. Colbert's going off the air. He's still swinging at Jimmy Fallon as much as possible. All of that's making MAGA happy. So Trump is winning. What do you say? You're going to get tired of winning? MAGA's not really winning. They're celebrating Trump's victories. Like I celebrate the Bears winning a game. If the Bears win the Super Bowl, it doesn't fucking change my life whatsoever. I still got to go to work. I still got to struggle and all of that shit. I got to still do what I got to do to feed my family. But I'll celebrate them beating all of the teams that I don't like. I'll celebrate pretty heavy if the Bears win. Doesn't change my life at all. And that's what's happening with MAGAs. They're celebrating Trump's victories over his adversaries, but none of those victories are really changing their lives. But to them, he's the best president we've ever had. Looking in the comments, we are all losing. MAGA just doesn't see it, says Lisa. They're celebrating the victories, Lisa. They're celebrating the victories. Gasoline prices in Cleveland, Ohio are $2.39. That's a victory. If gas prices are coming down under Trump, I'm gonna give him credit. People can say it's the winter blend or it's Saudi Arabia drilling more, whatever reason. If it happened under Biden, I would be giving Biden credit, and the right would be saying it's a winter blend and it's not Biden's fault. My opinion, whatever happens under your watch, you get blamed for it. Just like the right was trying to blame Dr. Fauci for how the pandemic was handled under Trump. No, it's Trump's fault. For some reason, when things go well under Trump, he gets credit. When things go bad, they start picking parts of the administration to blame it on. I don't look at it that way. Let me go back to the box, though. Kabira, good evening. Welcome to the program. Gas prices always go down in winter. Okay, then they all should take credit for it. Kabira, good evening.
Good evening, handsome. How are you?
I'm doing good. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Appreciate you coming in.
And Happy New Year.
Hey.
And Happy New Year.
Well, we'll be on before that, so I haven't quite said that. I'll probably be doing some shows between now and then. But yes, Happy New Year as well. Getting to that, what are you politically wishing for in 2026?
For Trump to go away and this administration. How he goes, I don't care. He can go in a straitjacket.
Oh my God.
He can go in an ambulance ride. I don't care. He can go to the loony bin, or he can just go away.
So I'm gonna take it you're not a Trump supporter.
And it's not that I'm against Republicans. You know what I mean? That's got nothing to do with it.
Why so much? What is it about Republicans that you don't like to that level?
No. It's Trump.
Oh, you're not against Republicans.
No.
Okay.
Like people like Mitt Romney or
rhinos.
Well, you can call him rhino. Mitt Romney even stated that he believes that the wealthy should pay more in taxes because the country is. But he
wasn't saying that.
Off the middle class and the poor. It's just impossible.
Yeah, but Kabira, hindsight is 20. Am I getting your name right, Kabira? Am I pronouncing it right?
No, you're not.
Correct me. I don't want to fuck your name. What's your name?
Kabira.
Okay,
Kabira.
a soft eye. Okay, Kabira, soft eye. Okay, and somebody in the comments, Waylon said he can go to the morgue. Wow, you don't wish for that, right? The morgue.
Well, let's put it like this. You know, I don't wish the ultimate on anybody. Of course, we all have a date with destiny.
True.
Okay, let's put it like this. If he were to go naturally, I don't have a problem with it. To see something harmful happen to him, even though I don't like the guy, I would have a problem with it. Nobody needs to be CK'd, okay, or JFK. Nobody needs that type of action to go out of here. You know, let be natural causes or an illness, but not some loony bin decides he wants to take him
What is so?
I don't go with that.
Just to get clarity, what is so bad about Trump to have you with such strong feelings, though?
What I don't like is the lying, the grifting, the immorality. You know, people say, it's on both sides. Yeah, you know, to a certain extent, but not, it's no way. And I didn't like Dick Cheney.
Okay.
Didn't like him.
Most liberals didn't.
However, he did have some values. And I really didn't care for Mitt Romney, but he does have family values.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. When you mentioned Mitt Romney and he's saying the wealthy should pay their fair share, my response was he wasn't saying that in 2012 when he ran. He was not saying that.
Exactly. And you know why? Because he stated that the direction the country is going in now with Trump's tax cuts, the big, beautiful bill. So basically what happens now is the wealthy, they're paying less or no taxes. So who does the burden fall onto?
Us. And
now, a lot of people say, I was a smaller government, but you tell me how you like it when you're driving down that freeway and the freeways are horrible. You're not getting the type of services that you're supposed to get from the federal government. A lot of people really don't understand what the government is for. The federal government is for the people to take care of the citizens.
Yeah. And by the way, kind of Mike and Blue One, appreciate the hat mustache. Yeah. Thank you very much. I don't know. Do you think it'll get that bad with the wealthy are paying so low that we can't even maintain the infrastructure?
Yeah, especially the way Trump is picking our pockets. I mean, I'm trying to figure it out, right? These farmers, how are you going to send $40 billion to Argentina? But you're supposed to be America first and our farmers. You're going to bail them out with just $12 billion.
Yeah, see, in the comments, somebody agreed with you. I think it's Josh said the no handout guy is bailing out farmers and gave Argentina $40 billion, which is basically saying he's a hypocrite. But
exactly.
Why do you think? Because you're right about the America First thing. I've brought this up as well. Is that you're sending money in Argentina while Americans are still struggling, and you ran on America First. Why do you think MAGA's not complaining about that? Why do you think that is?
Because they. What's her name? That granny,
Gangster grandma.
Gangster grandma. And she put it. I don't speak like her, but
thank you.
She, kisses on cucumbers. Let's put it that way. All right. So they're kissing on cucumbers.
Okay.
Right? And a lot of times people get so invested. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. When Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton. Now at that time, I think I was about maybe 33 years old, and I'm like, nothing wrong with getting a little, under the desk. People making a big thing, but you know what? As I got older and my eyes started opening, no, but that is wrong. Now you're supposed to be at work in the White House. You're supposed to represent the American people and have some kind of gumption about yourself.
Okay.
And here you are having somebody kissing on your cucumber. So you can't excuse it, but a lot of times we take a blind eye.
But what do you think should happen? Okay, what he did, a consensual act. I mean, do you really think he should be impeached for that? I mean, it ain't like he took it from her.
Seriously, maybe he should have, either which way it goes, it sounds bipartisan because would I hold Trump to the same standard? I believe if you are married, this is what I believe. Bill Clinton, just like Trump, was married. You should not cheat on your spouse.
What does that got to do with
Whatever
your
comes
employment?
at you, then you deserve it. If you don't want to be with your spouse anymore, just say, I don't want to be with my spouse anymore.
But you
and take
wouldn't-
whatever comes with that.
But if you were the manager or you owned your own company, you had an employee that was working for you and he was married and he got caught cheating on his spouse, that wouldn't affect his employment with you, would it?
Well, no, but once again, he's not representing the American people.
You can still be a fantastic president and not a good husband, right?
Yeah, but once again, you just shouldn't cheat on your spouse. They invest in you and you invest in them. And it's a point of being honest with each other.
Yeah, but
So if I'm to hold Trump to the same standards, I have to hold Clinton to the same standards. So I can't say, oh, it was just a little, kissing the cucumber. But with Trump, oh, you did that with Stormy Daniels. Both of them were wrong.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. But in terms of, I don't think it should be worthy of an impeachment, though. I mean, if you punish presidents for cheating on their spouse, I think out of the 47 or whatever number it is of them that is served, probably over half of them have done that.
But now, what is a impeachable offense? High crimes or misdemeanors?
Yeah, he lied about it to Congress is why he got impeached. But just the act of infidelity, no, that would.
So then that's what they should have impeached him for, lying to Congress, not for infidelity, right?
I think that's what Clinton did get impeached for.
Okay, so if he got impeached for lying to Congress, then yeah, he had it coming. But if you know what I'm saying, if he went to them and said, she kissed my cucumber. It's not a high crime and it's not a misdemeanor.
Shout out to the man if he working with a cucumber. God bless him. That ain't a small piece of fruit or whatever that thing is. Shout out to him. But I will just say this: a lot of folks believe that he had no business being questioned about his his sexual activity at all by Congress to begin with. He's a grown ass man. He's running the country. Who cares who he's sleeping with is what many believe that. Okay, he slept with his intern. I mean, why is that going before Congress? Why is that being put before Congress to begin with is how a lot of folks felt.
Okay, so once again, right, we hold, and like I said, I can't stand Trump. I can't wait for him to go away. That's what I'm hoping 26 brings. But we hold the same standard to Trump.
No, well,
sitting around with them women.
Probably not, because right now the amount of loyalty that Trump is getting out of Washington is unprecedented. I don't think Obama or any president in U.S. history has had more loyalty from his party. And yeah, they will let him do whatever. So yeah, I don't think if Trump got caught doing the same thing Bill Clinton got caught doing, it wouldn't even go before Congress. Congress wouldn't even challenge him on it.
But I think MAGA and our representatives and senators, they're slowly pulling away from Trump.
But is the numbers of those who are doing it significant enough? And Debo, appreciate the hat mustache. Thank you. Are the numbers? I mean, we've had Marjorie Taylor Greene and a few folks, but is it enough of them to make any significant difference?
I think it will. I think that the 26, the midterms, will show that. Not only these special elections, but who just resigned last week outside of Elise Stefanik? This gentleman from, I believe, Nebraska. I forget what state. Newhouse, I believe that's his name. He resigned. So they're resigning. 2 and 3 a week is coming.
Yeah. I think some of them are starting to see that. Yeah, the tide has turned so much it ain't even worth running for re-election. I mean, some of them know at this point. Like the one in New York, Stefanik, for instance. She was already predicted to have a significant battle on her hands anyway in a blue state like New York. I think she's running for governor, wasn't she? I mean, she's running for
governor. But then too, you have to look at it like this. This one Republican politician said behind closed doors, they can't stand him. They don't like the way he speaks, but they are afraid to speak up against him because of his base. See, so they need some cojones. He's not letting them govern. This is what they say behind closed doors, but in front of the cameras, he's good as apple pie.
How did he get to that point? How did he get to that point where, and you're right about that, that people are, because Marjorie Taylor Greene admitted it too, that how do we get to the point where we have a president that people are scared to criticize for their own personal safety and stuff? What did he do to get that type of support that people are willing to threaten to kill for him?
He's a gangster.
How did they bring up Gangsta Grandma? Gangsta Grandma came up in a, but so you see.
He's a gangster, handsome. He's a freaking gangster. You know what? Check this out. Remember back in 17 and 18, Stormy Daniels. And it hit me about maybe 2 months ago. Stormy Daniels said she was in a parking garage and this guy came up to her about Trump.
I heard about that.
And you remember that.
Yeah.
And so now you're hearing about the thing with the baby and a few other things you're hearing about Trump. So the man is dangerous. And so I think a lot of these people are afraid for their lives. And then you have to remember those, 1,500 goons that he let out?
You talking about the Jan 6 folks?
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about the ones who were just trespassing. Those people really aren't a threat. Yeah, maybe 30 days in county jail or something, federal jail or whatever, 30 days. But these people who were beating the hell out of cops and making the news for Pence and looking for Pelosi, I mean, these guys that were legitimate threats.
Well, they believe that them folks got railroaded. But let me ask it to you this way: are we misjudging Trump? Pam in the comments says you never talk about Trump's accomplishments. So
she said what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
We never. She's talking to me, but I want to also have you run over this too. She's saying that I never covered Trump's accomplishments. So let me ask you: has he done anything good for America?
I think one thing he did good for America, and because Trump is his own worst enemy, right along with his base. The best thing Trump did was coming up with warp speed to get that vaccination out. But he talked so badly about it. He blamed Dr. Fauci, telling people to stick an ultraviolet light and use some disinfectant. And as you said earlier, it'll be over with in April. Just go out in the sun and it'll kill it. Right?
He did
so
say
we
that.
end up losing 600,000 Americans, right? Yet he goes and he gets the vaccine. He tells the people to get the vaccine. We're not taking that. And, they sort of turned on him a little bit because now he's trying to be lived, so he had to walk it back. But the best thing he ever did was that vaccine.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. And he did roll the vaccine out and played both sides of the fence on it because he was focused on maintaining a strong economy so he could run again off of it and trying to focus on saving lives during the pandemic. You can't do both. I mean, they were telling him to save lives, you're going to have to shut the country down for a while until we can figure out what was going on. So he was trying to do both, and the end result was a disaster. So
yeah. As my grandfather used to say, baby, you go to the left or you go to the right, but whichever way you go, make up your mind and go there. So he's playing both sides of the fence. He's trying to straddle the fence. You can't do that. See, that's a true leader. A true leader is going to say, hey, I'm going this way. All ashore, this is going ashore. Otherwise, get the hell off the boat.
Wow.
Now, that's what you're going to do.
What about the economy? Trump is saying the economy is the best it's ever been.
Look, hey, I kid you not. I bought, it was a 6-pack of chicken thighs. Boneless chicken thighs. How much do you think it cost me, handsome?
A 6-pack of chicken thighs. Chicken ain't that expensive.
How much you think that 6-pack cost me? I promise you. I even put it on TikTok. How much you think that barnyard pimp me for?
Well, I don't do a lot of them. Was it $10? A little bit less than $10?
$22.
Chicken for 6 chicken thighs?
And the breast, which was next to it, which was 4, was $16. I said, oh my, and this was some chicken. And that's the cheapest meat.
That seems incredibly expensive for 6 chicken thighs.
I kid you not. I put it, I put a post on it on TikTok here. I put a post on it on Facebook.
I'm kind of. It makes me wonder. Are you like out in the mountains somewhere? Like, I mean, like, does it have to be shipped a long way? That's crazy.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. And usually I don't pay attention to the cost of anything. Usually when I go get something, I just say, I don't care what it costs. I'm just gonna go grab it, because I do pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I said to myself, well, shoot, I still have to live now. Let's not be stupid.
True.
I looked at that chicken. I said, Lord have mercy.
What part of the country are you in?
California.
$22 for 6 chicken thighs.
$22 from Stater Brothers. It just went up. Just that. I mean, it skyrocketed. It was like it happened overnight. I couldn't freaking believe it.
Do you blame Trump for it?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to put it like this. Trump fooling around with them farmers, fooling around with the tariffs, uncertainty with the market. These people, I mean, it just, yeah, I do.
Wow. All right. That's insane.
Some things, handsome, you got to leave alone. If Trump would have rolled Biden's coattails, just ride the damn coattail.
That ain't going to happen.
But, hey, Liberation Day, right?
Yeah.
And here we are, end of the year, and it's hell day. We're living in a hellscape, and Trump is driving the train.
Well, according to Trump, economy is doing the best it's ever done. More Americans are employed now than ever before. So he sees it a little differently than you. I tend to be leaning on your side of that. I got to move it on, Kabira. But
okay, brother. Hey, thank you for having me up, because for like 3 weeks now, I say, dang, man, I be hearing this brother's chat. This brother don't ever bring me up. I really like what he's doing. Takesha, my little friend, I was talking to her about you. She go, oh, yeah,
Takesha, me and Takesha go way back. She's been coming up. We've been talking for a while. So, Kabira, anytime I see you, I will absolutely make sure that we look. Sometimes the list is long and I don't scroll through, but we're definitely not avoiding you. Come on back anytime.
Anytime, brother. And next time I come up, we'll discuss that case number, because it's in there. I wrote the case number. I want you to Google that case number. It was in September of 2016. That docket number 1-16 CV. I believe.
What case is this? What is this pertaining to?
It was I'm trying to be TikTok politically correct. Sexual misconduct, assault, it goes on and on.
And this is against President Trump.
Yeah, and this case was brought in September the 30th, 2016.
Wow.
And if you go to page 4, number 10, it's just clear as day what he did. And I said, oh my God, this man is a beast.
If you get that number, DM me that, because that sounds like something I want to read, because it may come up in future conversations. Kabira,
you got it.
Merry Christmas to you and yours. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you, brother. You too.
Anytime,
Bye-bye.
anytime. By the way, folks, thank you for the 130 plus thou. Thank you, folks. Hopefully you are certainly about to have a wonderful Christmas. It is starting to be the evening hours of Christmas Eve. So, a lot of us open presents up around this time, if not a little bit later. I'm about to partake in some of that. So I do have to go ahead and step away. You're right. Trump can't do better. What do you mean he cannot do better? We said Trump is doing the best he possibly could. Trump is sundowning. Damn. What he said, he's in the sunset of his life. Williams said she was pretty level-headed, though. I wish her a Merry Christmas. And I see shirt says win, Kabira. Fair enough. If Biden couldn't even walk up or down a flight of stairs, he wasn't that bad. I mean, look, there's plenty of video footage of Biden walking up and down flights of stairs. He fell a few times. I'm not saying he didn't have trouble, but I did it. He couldn't do it. That's exceptionally wrong. So you're going a bit far with that. Anyhow, folks, Merry Christmas to all of you folks. We certainly will be doing more shows between now and New Year's. If you're watching us on Instagram, X, or TikTok, show your boy some love. Follow the program. Thank you for the support for you folks who did. Follow us on the program. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, feel free to subscribe to the show. We're here most weekdays. We take callers from all sides. We are, always will be, MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, as you can tell, liberals are welcome on the program as well. So you guys have a Merry Christmas, and we'll catch you probably. Whoa, who just did that? Oh, wow, you got that one in. Who just did that? Thank you for that support. Kabira, thank you, my Let's Call It the Animal Band. Shout out to you. Got my graphics looking beautiful to help your boy roll off on Christmas. And thank you, William, for the hat and mustache. So thank you, folks. And like I said, have a great holiday. 12 McAdams says, okay, bye. Do better, Tim. What do you want me to do better on? Thank you, Big Dog. Big Dog. Thank you. Big Dog has definitely been always good. Thank you, Big Dog. What are you saying do better for there? Kwanzaa still isn't real. Jeremy, I wish I could have had time. I would have brought you up to hear that. And Big Dog, the Grinch, that's making snow angels. Well, that's Blue One Banks as well. Wow, you guys are way too kind. Shout out to you. Real quick, prices up, employment up, debt up, corruption up. Prices up, yeah. Unemployment up, that was deliberate. Thank you. Alter ego. Prices up, employment up, debt up, and corruption up. I can't push back on those. Prices are up, debt is up, unemployment is up, and I believe personally, Scott Penny, thank you. I do believe that corruption. I don't like the Jets, and I don't like money for the ballroom, and we don't know who the money came from. I don't like that stuff. To me, it does look like the Trump administration is doing corrupt shit. We can talk about Hunter Biden and Burisma and all of that stuff. I'm not going to pretend like that may not have been happening. Scott Penny with the Galaxy, thank you. I'm not going to pretend like there may not have been folks under the Biden administration using Biden's name to do. I don't remember anything happening under Obama. Shout out to Obama. We talked about even under Bush, what was it, Blackwater, or what was the company that Dick Cheney, Halliburton. There was none of that under Obama. There was no mention of Obama being corrupt and making money off the presidency. You heard about Halliburton under Bush. You heard about Burisma and stuff under Biden. There was nothing under Obama. Just based on what we want to talk about, it looks like Obama was probably one of the least corrupt presidents in our lifetime. I don't know. I mean, under Reagan, I'm sure we could easily go into shit like the Iran-Contra scandal and things like that. George H.W. Whoa! Blue One. You guys are about to roll up out of here, but you guys are being so nice, so generous. I can't run from it. Thank you very much, Blue One Banks. So, Obama did not have that privilege. Yeah, he did, Billy Wop. Maybe not to the point of Trump or to the point of Bush. He didn't have as many allies and as many contacts and things like that. But if you're president, you can always do something. Good example. Trump is imposing tariffs, moving them around and things like that. That's a perfect avenue to insider trading. I'm going to raise the price of this tomorrow. Make sure you invest in it, or make sure you get your stock out of it. I mean, there's plenty of room to be corrupt if you're president. So even though Obama didn't have a connection to Trump or Bush or Biden, there's tons of room for him to have done shit. There's no scandals like that. Is that a present? Santa in the sleigh? I'm going to remember this shit. Y'all showing me love like that. I'm going to remember that. And I see that Arlita says, have a safe holiday season, everyone. True. Merry Christmas to you, Adrian. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to all of you folks. All right. You guys have shown me a lot of love. I guess I'll go ahead and step away now. And we will, hopefully next year, it's more positive. Hopefully there's more unity amongst us. It's a wish. Remember, the whole program was about your wish for 2026. My personal wish is that as a country, we come closer together. I know that's going to be very challenging under the administration we have, because Trump runs on Trump runs on division. Division is fuel for President Trump. I think there's a lot of Republicans even that would prefer the country comes together a little bit, but that is not the wish of President Trump. That is the wish of yours truly. You guys have a happy holiday. I'm out of here. Thank you for the generosity. Thank you for tuning in this year. Thank you for your love and your hate. Shout out to Gangsta Grandma. Nevertheless, thank you guys all for tuning, following the program, subscribing. I'll catch you later. Goodbye. I'm out.